Wrestling Days, and welcome to Wrestling Days Live. We are live for this week's NXT and AEW. I hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is looking forward to some Wednesday night wrestling. I've said before, this isn't my favourite stream of the week because of trying to watch two shows at the same time. But I am excited for this week because I do think there is some good stuff that's planned. Obviously, we've got the big cage match. Obviously, they've shown what the cage looks like as well for NXT. So I've got that queued up to show you. Over on AEW, we've got Britt Baker, who... It's kind of funny with Britt Baker. I am actually a fan of Britt Baker now. When I saw her at the start, she still has had the worst promo of the year. That promo that she tried to cut, I think it was on the Cruise of Jericho, was comically bad. And I really worried for her. I thought, man, she's going to struggle here. But she came back. She got better the next week. And now I'm like really on board with her. So absolutely fair play to her. Absolutely fair play. She's done a really good job. I was disappointed that she wasn't able to make it to Double or Nothing. But she's back tonight, so we're going to hear from her tonight. Great talent. And as I said, I'm excited for that. We got Mike Tyson as well. Shout out to everyone who's joining us. We got Mike Tyson as well. Again, which is interesting. So not sure what they've got lined up or what they've got planned for him. In fact, do you know what? I've got so much to go through with you guys because of how much both shows have announced that we're getting today. So we are definitely not going to be stuck for things to talk about. Not that we're ever stuck for things to talk about, but we absolutely are not going to be stuck for things to talk about. Could Keith Lee... Hello, Swamp Manor. Hello, everyone. Could Keith Lee get called up soon? I would like it. To be honest, I think that he deserves more exposure than what NXT brings. I think I saw that Raw got 1.7 million, which is still really, really low ratings-wise. They really should be up around the 2 million mark at least. I think that's where SmackDown is at the moment. But he was super over around Christmas time. If you think about Survivor Series and you think about Royal Rumble, Keith Lee was super, super over. I think that's kind of settled down. I don't think that him being... I suppose in a way, naturally it would. You couldn't really maintain that for a long time. But I don't think what they've done with him has been the best way forward. I think him being North American champ has been okay. It's not been the best run. So, honestly, I think I would start to at least think about moving him. And who knows, maybe they were thinking of moving him, and obviously the worldwide pandemic that we're going through sort of got in the way. So, I'm not sure what the plans are. We obviously, big rumours. There's big plans for Matt Riddle, though. Big plans for Matt Riddle. It looks like Riddle is on his way to the main roster. That's obviously not confirmed. It's just a big rumor that's doing the rounds. So we'll have to wait and see. Sunny Wolf, shout out to you. WFS Wrestling. Sam and George says, it's my birthday, so happy birthday to you, my friend. Shout out Sam and George. Moda in the house as well. So great to see all of you guys. I saw you literally just the other day, but it's still great to see you all. Tomorrow, it's worth mentioning, we are watching Total Divas. Don't judge me. This is decided by the community. And it just, it was a couple of percent. It just beat, I can't remember what it was, one of the wrestling shows. But what I've said is that we'll watch on Sunday NXT TakeOver Chicago. That had one of my favourite matches from 2017. That was Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. That match is incredible. So we're going to go back and we're going to rewatch that on Sunday. So, we've got a couple of shows lined up. Obviously, we got SmackDown on Friday. We got UFC on Saturday as well. So we are pretty stacked for the next few days. But if you want to talk about stacked, we've got to talk about tonight. Let me just very quickly tell you what we are in store for, okay, so that you've got an idea. So we have got on AEW a battle royal to find the #1 contender for the TNT title, which should be a lot of fun. Battle royals are always fun. Britt Baker, as we said, very excited for that. Mike Tyson, as we said, I'm excited for that. I don't like how they've used Mike Tyson so far. I don't feel like they've made him a big enough deal. This is Mike Tyson. There's so many rumors about him returning and, wanting to fight maybe an exhibition fight against Holyfield or, there's loads of speculation. Obviously, there's been training videos, things like that. I thought the announcement, the way they announced him was a little flat. I thought the way they used him at Double or Nothing was flat as well. I must admit, I do think that it has suffered from a lack of crowd. I think if a crowd was there, they would have lost their minds for Mike Tyson. They would have absolutely lost their minds, and that really would have added to it. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to use him tonight. Like, why is he sticking around? Is it just to bump ratings for this week, or is there something else going on? So I'm going to find out. Next, we got Moxley, Brian Cage, Fyter Fest news. Don't know what that is. Obviously, Fyter Fest was apparently meant to take place in London. It was going to be in the UK. It was going to be the first AEW show in the UK. So I know AEW fans all over Europe, UK in particular, very disappointed that no longer is going to be the case. I think it's great, though, that it shows that they are really actively looking at branching into Europe and branching into the UK market in particular. So I think that's very exciting that they're taking those steps quite early. I mean, what, are we a year old now? I think we're about a year old with AEW, aren't we? So good. It would have been the right thing to have done, I think. So, because it's a big market, the UK and Europe, and they could really tap into that. I don't feel like WWE have done a great job with Europe in particular. UK by far is their biggest market in Europe. You just feel that there's got to be some inroads in Germany and Italy and France and Spain, and do you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be fans over there that can be tapped into. So I don't know. WWE just don't seem to do that many shows in any other countries. They'll do the odd Italian show once in a blue moon, maybe a German or French show, but their tours and Raws and SmackDowns are always in the UK. So I just wonder if there's something there for AEW to exploit. Next, we got Inner Circle are going to be holding a prep rally. We've got Hikaru Shida, the new women's champ, in action. And we've got Private Party and Joey Janela taking on the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy. So we've got all of that lined up for AEW. Over on NXT, we got Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher in a steel cage match. Kurt Angle is the ref. Balor and Damian Priest are still going to be building their feud. We've got Adam Cole talking to William Regal in a negotiation regarding the Velveteen Dream. I don't quite get what this means, but I think they're building towards a match at TakeOver in Your House. But I don't know what the negotiation is all about, so we'll have to find out. Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai are teaming up to take on Charlotte and a mystery partner. Now, I don't quite know why Io and Rhea are teaming together when they absolutely hate each other. Doesn't make a great deal of sense. I wonder if that mystery partner will be like Candice LeRae. Candice seems to be like a heel at the moment, seems to be someone that they're really trying to push and get behind. She might sit quite nicely in a team with Charlotte. So my guess for that would be someone like Candice LeRae. So boom, there we go. Jerry says, Days, I can't wait for the Mike Tyson and Kurt Angle segments. Yes, I agree. Are fans back? I believe they are back, yes. We've got some images of the cage. I've got one queued up to show you what the NXT cage looks like. I know many of you will have seen this already, which is why I didn't bother doing like a separate video on it. I do think that it's going to be very, very cool, because let me show you it now. Let me show you it now before I get stuck into the chat and really start talking to you guys. Let me show you the cage. Look at that. Look at that. Now, they can't, in all fairness, right, it's a cage, a normal cage with just scaffolding around it, right? So when you actually break it down, it's nothing too adventurous. It's a cage with scaffolding around the edge. Now, I don't think you could do that normally, because you're going to really be obscuring the view of a crowd, a paying crowd. But obviously, we don't have a paying crowd, so we can go a little bit Mad Max. And that's what we seem to have done. We seem to have gone a little bit Mad Max. So it's got such a different feel
Jason
to it.
Peace is a legend. They donated £10 via Super Chat. Shout out my friend, how are you? Love the streams every day. Keep it up, buddy.
Shout out to... I didn't even see who that was. Let me jump into the chat. Let me see who it is. It's Jason Peace. Shout out to you, Jason Peace. Hope you are well, my friend. You just got a thumbs up from Kenny. You get a thumbs up. Not that you can see me, but I have got my thumbs up right now. Actually, I'm lying. I haven't. But I will when I return. But anyway, here you can see the cage around the ring. You got the scaffolding as well. I should imagine there'll be like cameramen maybe on the top part, but I can totally see them climbing up and wrestling on that kind of platform that goes all around the edge. So I think there's a lot to explore and a lot to have fun with. It should be a great match. Should be a great match. It's just a shame that they can't do cages kind of like this when there's a crowd. That's for you, Jason. That's for you. Boom. I said I'd do it. I'm a man of my word. Days, it's scaffolding. It's not a part of the cage. Yeah, it's scaffolding that's around the edge. And as I said, I think it's probably where cameramen might stand so that you can get like shots from above. But I could definitely see them climbing up and using it. And it actually being a part of the match. But as I said, more than anything else, just visually, it looks really impressive. Not a cage that we've ever seen before, or not a structure. They've never used scaffolding around the edge like that before. So I like it. I'm on board with it. I think it looks really cool. And I'm very excited for that match. And Kurt Angle being guest ref as well certainly makes things quite interesting. So, yeah, there's big question marks when it comes to AEW and how they're going to be using Mike Tyson. There's big question marks with NXT and how they're going to be using the cage, and what's Angle's relationship now? Is this just one match in, done, then he's gone again? Or is he coming back? Is he now working in NXT? Is he going to be part of this, you know? Part of me wondered when this match was announced, and we were talking about it the other day, could it be a case that Angle gets involved and actually costs someone the match? I would love Angle versus Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher is a mat-based wrestler. We don't know much about him. They've really shot him straight to the moon. I mean, this guy has only been around a handful of weeks. Go back, a month? I don't even think he was on the roster. I don't even know. He just, out of nowhere, they had to find a partner, didn't they? They had to find a partner for, I think, didn't he sign the same time as Killer Cross, but we only saw him for the first time about 3 weeks ago. I think that's right. I think when they announced Killer Cross on Backstage, they also announced Timothy Thatcher. Anyway, we've only seen him for about 3-4 weeks. And now he's in one of the biggest matches of the year for NXT on NXT TV. This cage match that looks epic, and it's got Kurt Angle as a ref. So I would love it if Kurt Angle would somehow get involved, costing Thatcher. Riddle can go off to main roster. Thatcher can stay and have a feud with Kurt, or do a match at TakeOver. Kurt Angle versus Timothy Thatcher at TakeOver in your house. This is the exact kind of thing that NXT needs to do. They need these kinds of names. You know, they're competing against Mike Tyson. And Cody and Jericho and Hardy, and do you know what I mean? We've said for a long time they need Owens. They could do with Triple H getting involved every now and again. They need Balor, they need Charlotte, they need Kurt Angle. So makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Days, have you heard about WCW coming back? Says Swamp Manor. No, I haven't. I mean, I've seen the trademarks, but if I've not seen anything to suggest that WCW is coming back as a show. So I don't know where that's come from. I know a load of trademarks got filed. Having read through those trademarks, it seemed to be a lot of merchandise, T-shirts, pencils, stationery. I don't know. I can't remember seeing if the option was there for a show, to name a show WCW. I think it would be great to bring it back, but I haven't seen anything that says that it's coming back. I haven't seen anything that says WCW is coming back. Just that they've trademarked it so that they can make more merch, I think, is what they're doing. But yeah, it would be great if they did bring WCW back. I think we all kind of felt like it should have been its own show. The only problem was they never had the WCW stars to put onto that show. They didn't have the contracts during the invasion. And then when they did get the big names, the whole thing had fallen over anyway, and we'd just moved on. So I think we all know that invasion angle just didn't go the way it should have. Difficult, though, because obviously they didn't have the contracts for the big names. So there wasn't really much they could do. Miss Clown 1 says, I'm excited for the Angle match. Robin813 says, Days, the cage has no ropes. Oh, I didn't notice that. Did not notice that. FT_OK21 Gaming, shout out to you. Shout out to Joshua Mickelson as well. Hope you are well, my friend. Jim Gore, shout out to you. Jerry Jones says, have you heard about Joshua versus Mike Tyson for the heavyweight championship at Wembley? No. I heard that it was proposed, and Joshua, I believe, said that he would do it. But I also heard that, is it Pulev, saying that he's the next mandatory challenger for one of the belts. He said, I'm not stepping aside. So Pulev has come out and said, I'm not going to step aside. I'm the next person in line. So that seemed to be derailing any Tyson talks. And honestly, I just thought it was just speculation. I honestly just thought that it was just chat, just to get people talking about Joshua and Tyson and just to make something out of nothing. If Tyson comes back, I would struggle to see him going up against someone like Joshua. I mean, as bad as Tyson is, surely he knows he's not going to be able to hang with the current heavyweights, the current, top of the tree. I don't believe that. I think he needs an exhibition fight. Him against Holyfield in an exhibition fight, I think, would be money. People would tune in for that. The only problem was, the last I saw, Holyfield said that he didn't want any KOs. Now, if you're going to take, which is, in one hand is understandable given their age, but on the other hand, it completely derails this as a show. Do you know what I mean? People want to see knockouts. Tyson's known for, being the baddest man. You can't take away the knockouts, so I don't know where we are with it. Again, I've not seen anything announced about Tyson and Joshua. I will be very surprised if we end up getting that. I'll be very, very surprised. But let's wait and see. Maybe he'll announce something tonight. I don't know. I don't know what the plans are for Mike Tyson. Run with the Hunted says, I don't think it's going to be Candice LeRae. She's in a feud with Mia Yim and Keith Lee. My money is on Dakota Kai, maybe Chelsea Green. That's a good shout. She is in a feud with Mia Yim and Keith Lee. I suppose in my head there was nothing stopping Mia Yim coming down and getting involved. I just kind of feel that Candice is someone that they're really pushing. She's very much like a big focal point in the women's division. If Charlotte needs a partner, needs a top tier heel, then my mind instantly goes to the top of the tree. And I'd say the top of the tree is Candice LeRae, given how they're presenting her at the moment and those weird dinner vignettes, which I'm not a fan of, where it's colour and then all of a sudden it goes black and white, and they're like, no, talking direct to camera. I can't really get with them, to tell the truth. When I first saw them, I liked them, but then as I kept watching it, and it just got a bit weird and a bit strange, and then the second one just didn't really land with me at all. So yeah, whatever. I totally see what you're saying. I totally see what you're saying. It honestly could be someone like Dakota Kai or Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, I could see being a good fit with Charlotte as well. So yeah. Sports World says NXT has got no characters. Might want to tell that to Dexter Loomis, who was sat outside on the floor with Roderick Strong's head just staring in the distance, stroking his hair, whilst you had Velveteen Dream in the background, showing off. That was, I think that was last week or the week before. It was a glorious shot. I know that. Days, I think Keith Lee versus Johnny Gargano will be made tonight for In Your House. Could be. Yeah, could be. It seems to be going that way, as we just said as well. It could be some kind of a mixed tag. Could be we get Keith Lee and Mia Yim against Candice and Johnny as well, just to throw an alternative into the pot. Deonna Purrazzo did go to Impact. That's a big signing for Impact. And good for Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's definitely someone that deserves to be employed. You know, she's a benefit to the wrestling industry. So it's just a shame that they couldn't find something better for her in WWE. King Slimby says, after hearing in the news that NFL will have a crowd, do you think in a few months WWE could possibly have crowds? I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance that they could. I think you're going to see a lot of social distancing. I think you're going to see a lot of spacing out. I think you're going to see like someone and then a couple of seats and then someone, then a couple of seats. If we do go back to arenas, I've got to be honest, I don't know how queues for food, queues for the toilet, getting into your seats. Just there's so much logistically that's a nightmare, because it's not as easy as just spacing out the crowd. It's the whole, how does the crowd even get to their seats kind of a problem, because obviously they're, those tunnels that take you into stadiums and take you into arenas are not the widest thing. Like, I don't even think you could fit two people 6 feet apart in some of those passageways. So logistically, it's a nightmare. So I do think that we, in a few months, will be in obviously a better situation. And I think we could be looking at getting a reduced crowd. Even in 2 months, I'm not sure we're going to be getting full crowds. Even in 2 months, I don't think we're going to be getting full arenas and things like that. So, but we should have taken some steps by that point, yes. We should have taken some steps. And, well, if anything, you've seen a big step taken by WWE. I know AEW obviously have had a crowd for since the lockdown, really. WWE deciding to go a different way, but now they've kind of copied AEW and brought some people in. And I thought Raw was much better for it. It was much better for it. It's just a couple of little tweaks I would make. I wouldn't have them standing. Thought it looked a bit awkward. I think it's fine for them to be sat down. So having them sat down, I think, is okay. And 'cause apparently they had to stand for like 10 hours because they did Raw and there was other shows that were filmed. Like, that is brutal, isn't it? Apparently they allowed them during breaks and things to sit down, but by and large they were standing all throughout the filmings and everything. So yeah, pretty moody stuff if you're a performance center talent having to stand for that long. But yeah, there's a few things that I would tweak in regards to the crowd, but I thought it was a big improvement. So hopefully we do get crowds back very soon. Days, I don't get why they didn't show Roman during the top 10 Money in the Bank moments, but on one of Seth's top 10 devious acts during his cash-in at Mania, they show Roman Reigns. I wouldn't pay too much attention to it, to be honest. I think that you've got a lot of people that work in WWE, And it could be that a message went out saying, don't use Roman footage because he's not on TV at the moment. We're not sure when he's coming back. So it could have been a very simple message with no malice or anything. Simply saying, don't focus on Roman. We know that he's not going to be on the show in the near future.
Jody Gilly is a legend. They donated $14.99 via Super Chat. 9 days of work in a row and I finally have tomorrow off. I have never been this exhausted in my entire life. My brother works for NASCAR and he said the race...
Oh, why did it cut that off then? I don't know why it cut the end of that off. Let me read it out for you, Jody. So, Jody saying 9 days of work in a row, and I finally have tomorrow off. That is amazing. I have never been this exhausted in my entire life. My brother works for NASCAR. And he said the races in July will likely have reduced crowds. Very cool. Thank you for the info, Jody. Hope you are... Well, I should imagine you're over the moon. If you've been working 9 days in a row and now you get some time off. So shout out to you. Rest up. Yeah. Oh, man. That's such a great feeling, isn't it? When I remember when I worked in the music shop, in the entertainment store. So I worked in an entertainment store for about 15 years. And just over. And if ever it was coming up to like one of my holidays, because obviously you get so much holiday you can book in a year. So when it was coming up to one of my holidays, that feeling on the Friday night or Saturday night, whenever it was you finished, knowing that you didn't have to go in on Monday and you had a week off and you was getting paid and it was all great. Damn, man. That's life. That is living. That is as good as it gets. That feeling when you know you're not in work for a little while. So good. So good. To be honest, actually, it's really strange when I think about it, because if somehow that was the same way on YouTube, where, you know, you could take time off and, like, you would still have income coming in and everything. Because obviously if I don't stream or don't do videos, the channel doesn't earn any money, so you can't. It's totally different when you're kind of self-employed. But like if there was a way to do it, I don't think I would enjoy it as much, because I would still be watching. It wouldn't work because I'd still be watching the shows, because I'd still need to know and want to know what's happening in the world of wrestling, and I'd be just wanting to chat with you guys. So it's very strange. It's very strange how life works. Very, very strange. But before I was doing this, when I was at a shop, and I was having time off, man, that Friday night feeling, whew, best in the world. Eric Haberman, shout out to you. John says, I'm in a car. John, are you safe? Let us know if you're safe, John. Is it your car or have you been kidnapped? Let me know. You're not in the Lucha van, are you, John? Are you in the Lucha van, John? Have the Luchas got you, John? Jody says, I only get 1 day off. Oh, I'm back on Friday because I have to collect cells on a baby. And I'm the only person trained on kiddos that small. Wow. Just think about that sentence you just typed. I have to collect cells on a baby. I literally just sit here and talk about wrestling. We live very different lives, you and me, Jody. Very, very different lives. But shout out to you, my friend. The Pickle One says, Days, do you think we will see Mike Tyson wrestle Lance Archer? And do you like that idea? No. To be honest, Mike Tyson's an incredible boxer. I'm not sure he's an incredible wrestler. I think if they were to do an exhibition boxing match, totally on board with that. Like, if AEW had someone that kind of fancied themselves as a bit of a boxer, then I would be totally down for an exhibition fight. Like, I would have loved it if, you know, when we had Tyson Fury against Braun Strowman, I think it would have been really cool if instead they'd done Tyson Fury against King Corbin. Now, hear me out. hear me out, right? The reason why I say this is because King Corbin is someone that you absolutely want to see get punched in the face. Like, there's no doubt about it. I would have loved to have seen him get knocked out by Tyson Fury. So we all would have enjoyed that. But also, he's actually got a boxing background. Like, I can't remember. They keep saying that he won this tournament or he was some kind of a Golden Gloves champion. So I know that he's got this boxing background. If he did what King Corbin always does, ran his mouth at Tyson Fury and said to Fury, mate, I chose to go into wrestling. Had I have gone into boxing, I would be putting you down faster than, you'd even know I'd hit you. And like just running his mouth off and going off about how much better he is at boxing. And then do a few, weeks of Corbin training, a couple of little video packages where, damn, actually, do you know what? He looks quite good. He does actually look quite handy with his hands and show like bobbing, moving, how quick he is on his feet and everything. I'm not saying that he's ever going to be viewed as the equal of Tyson, don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying that I would have preferred had Tyson had done an exhibition boxing match than if Tyson Fury had done that wrestling match, because that wrestling match was awful. I mean, I gave him credit for trying, but it was still awful. So do I want to see Mike Tyson now wrestling? No, he's not a wrestler. He's not a trained wrestler. You can't just step into a wrestling ring and put on a great wrestling match. You need to be trained, and the end result is not going to be great. So I wouldn't want to go that way. I would much rather someone challenge him to an exhibition boxing match. If he's going to come back and do an exhibition boxing match, is there a way that this could be done under the AEW umbrella? Because if so, that's huge. Huge. That's huge. If that's going to be the announcement. So we'll have to wait and see. Let me go down. Moda, money out the anus. Did anyone out? Oh, did he shout that out? Did I just talk all over him? Because I didn't even hear him if he spoke. But anyway, I'll read it. Did anyone else check out the post-mortem segments after each episode of Last Ride? They are really good. Also, excited for Sting, The Lost Tape, this Sunday on the WWE Network. That's a really good shout, bud.
Anonymous is a legend. They donated
didn't think I'd heard it.
via a super chat. Did anyone else check out the post-mortem segments after each episode of The Last Ride? They are really good. Also excited for Sting, The Lost Tape this Sunday on the WWE Network.
I didn't check them out. I've seen them, and for some reason never clicked on them. Don't know why. But I probably should. If you're telling me they're good, then I'm sure I will get round to watching them. And yes, I'm also excited for this Lost Tape. I don't know what it's referring to. I don't know what this Sting Lost Tape is, but should be good. John Cena Gamer says, I will never boo Johnny Gargano as a heel because of his reaction to the Fiend's entrance. Generation Y Production says, Days AEW has signed British boxer Anthony Ogogo. Imagine seeing Mike Tyson as his manager. Ooh. Did not know they had signed Anthony Ogogo. That is very interesting. Thank you, Generation Y Productions. That would be very interesting. Or could they do I don't know if they could do a fight between those two. I don't think Anthony Ogogo's a known name around the world, so they'd have to build him up first if they were going to do something like that. But very, very interesting news. So thank you, Generation Y Productions. Demon Balor versus Damian Priest at In Your House would be awesome. They definitely should do that. Harvey Smith says, Days, when do you think your next toy hunt will be? Because I enjoy them a lot. Well, first, thanks. Appreciate it. Really appreciate anyone that watches and enjoys any of the videos or streams that we do. So that's great. I enjoy doing them as well. I think that's always worth saying. I enjoy doing them. They are a little tricky to do. And certainly our shops here have been closed for well over 2 months. Smith's, none of those kinds of shops have been open. So they reopen in the middle of June. There was an announcement that they're actually going to reopen non-essential stores here in the UK in the middle of June. So that means that toy shops like Smith's will reopen around then. And it's very high on my agenda to go. I would love to try and find Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is a figure that I would really love to find here in the UK. But I had a quick look on the Smiths website, and I think every single store is sold out. You can go onto the website, and it tells you roughly if they're in stock or not. Pretty much every single shop around, even like 100-mile radius around me, completely sold out of that figure. So even when it reopens, I don't think I'm going to have any joy in finding that figure. So we'll have to wait and see. So to answer your question, I enjoy doing them as well. I definitely want to get another one done. I don't know how successful it's going to be. But I suppose something is better than nothing. DJ B Tazzy says, "Hi Days and everyone. How are you?" Why am I reading it? The guy will do it for me. I'm so used to reading them. I just need to learn to chill, don't I? I just need to learn to sit back and let, I don't even know what his name is, Bruce. Let Bruce shout it all out for me. He can do the work. Daisy, you streaming UFC on Saturday? 100%. Looking forward to it, yes. So, Total Divas tomorrow.
DJ Tezzy is a legend.
Here we go.
They donated $10 via Super Chat.
Here we go.
Hey Days and everyone, how you doing? Just wanted to say hope everyone is healthy and safe. Love all you guys.
Hope everyone is healthy and safe. Shout out to you, DJ B Tazzy. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, very cool, man. Very, very cool. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling really, really good at the moment. I'm feeling quite, I don't know, I'm feeling quite up for tonight. Sometimes, I'll be honest, to go into these Wednesday nights a little bit like, oh, do you know what I mean? Like, man, trying to watch two shows. I'd rather just put all my attention onto one show because I'm always missing stuff on Wednesdays. It's impossible not to. I mean, first of all, I have to have the sound turned down, so there's a big disadvantage. But then, you know, if there's two amazing segments going on at the same time, it's so hard to try and keep track of both. So, you know, it is what it is. We do our best. And but there's so much tonight. I don't think it's going to matter what you're watching. What, do you know what I mean? Like, AEW is stacked. As we said, if you are just joining us, I can see there's 20 minutes. We've got a Battle Royal. Winner gets a shot at the TNT Championship. Britt Baker's back. Mike Tyson is going to be appearing. Moxley and Brian Cage news for Fyter Fest. Inner Circle prep rally. Hikaru Shida in action. Private Party and Joey Janela versus Young Bucks and Matt Hardy. Over on NXT, we got Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher with Angle as the ref in a cage. We got Balor and Priest building towards their match in your house. Cole is going to be talking to William Regal. Love Regal. So that's going to be awesome. A negotiation. We don't know what's going to happen there. And then we've got Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai versus Charlotte and a mystery partner. So, as we said, man, all of that happening within 2 hours at the same time. There's going to be a lot of crossover tonight. It's going to be one of those nights where it's like, where do I look? What is going on? It's going to be one of them. So, can't wait, man. Looking forward to it. Jody Gilly says, you missed my last super chat. Let me go back and read it. You missed my last super chat. Oh my God, how many super chats did I miss? Oh, yes, I did miss it. You're right. See, to prove my point, I'm talking about how I miss things on the shows, having to write. I'm even missing super chats here. Jody, the cell collector. Long story short, I collect white cells. Well, look, it's good to have a hobby. Then they get... Oh, okay. No, things got serious. Then they get chemo for a brain tumor. Then they get the cells back. Basically, I collect the immune system and then I give it back. It's called stem cell rescue. I mean, honestly, I collect signed wrestling cards. you collect immune systems. It's our lives are so different. So different. Yeah. They get, wow, that's amazing work. I mean, like, it must be super, super rewarding. It must be super, super duper, duper rewarding. So, but something that I should imagine is very taxing as well. So, great to take a break from it. Let someone else collect immune systems for a day. Yeah? Immune system collecting. The immune system collecting community, Jody, is vast. Yeah, it's a big community. It's going to be fine for you to have a day off. Let other people go and collect some. Yeah, there might be some rare ones that they don't have yet. Yeah, there might be some shiny ones. There might be some shiny immune systems that they get excited about, or signed ones by Michael Jordan that are going for a lot of money on eBay. I don't know, right? But all we are saying is give others a chance, which I do think was a song by John Lennon. James Chadwick says, Days, there's a Pete Dunne on Amazon. Yeah, but I can't really go, guys, welcome to a toy hunt, and then just jump onto Amazon, buy the figure and go, awesome, there we go, thanks for joining us, see you next time. Like, people aren't going to like that toy hunt. Do you know what I mean? Days, random question. Who would be on your AEW superstar Mount Rushmore? Woo! Well, you've got to put Jericho, haven't you? First AEW champion, and just the amount of stuff that he keeps getting over, the whole little bit of bubbly, just that on its own. So Jericho absolutely has got to be on there. I think Kenny is underwhelmed. I really do. I still don't think he's reached the expectations that we had. Now, I know that his focus is elsewhere. You know, in New Japan, he could just concentrate on having killer matches. In AEW, he's having to concentrate on a women's division and being an executive and also trying to have killer matches. And I do think that that's a weight to carry. It's funny because I think I've told this story before. We've got an amazing cricket player called Joe Root, who is incredible. He's one of our best cricket players. I'm a big fan of cricket. I only watch England, in fairness, but whenever they're on, I will watch. Joe Root is a brilliant cricket player. And so good, he got made captain. And as soon as he got made captain, that was it. His batting has just absolutely fallen away. Like, he's just not the same player that he was. Still shows glimpses, but by and large, like, there's debates as to whether they should stop him being captain now because it's affecting his performance too much. And I just wonder, is that the same with Kenny? Has Kenny taken on, like, this behind-the-scenes stuff and it's really weighing on his in-ring stuff, you know? I don't know. Don't get me wrong, he's had some great matches. I keep saying this. One of my favourite matches, if not my favourite match of the year, features Kenny Omega, Kenny and Hangman versus the Young Bucks. So by no means am I saying that he's garbage or anything like this. He's still a very, very good wrestler. But I don't think he's got to the levels of, well, certainly nothing like the matches he had against Okada, you know? So, yeah. I would struggle to put him on. Who would you put on? This is a really good question. I suppose Cody. You'd have to put Cody on. I think Cody has had some of the best matches and that emotion with Dustin. He's the first TNT champion. He's been a big part of the show all throughout. He's one of the vice presidents, but that doesn't get him on just for being a vice president. So, but I'll go with Cody. I think for that match against Dustin. And also being the first TNT champ. So, Jericho, Cody, and what do I need? 2 more spots. I think I would put Darby Allin on. I would put Darby Allin on for most improved. I would put Darby Allin on for a star that they have made. I think that he's had great matches. I think watching him when he first arrived and not being too sure about him to where he is now, to the point where he was heavy favourite to win that ladder match and to go up against Moxley next for a title shot. People wanted him to get past Cody. You know, he's over like Rover. People really like Darby Allin. So I'm not saying that he's the best wrestler or anything like this, but I think he's been on the biggest journey. I think that's fair. I think he's been on the biggest journey. So I would go with Darby Allin. I think MJF has been out injured for quite a while, so it just holds MJF back a little bit. That does his injury. And I need one more, and I feel like it should be a woman. I need one more, and I can't really not have a woman on there. But I can't think of any women that have done great stuff, to be honest. Like, Nyla Rose isn't that impressive. Riho, because she was the first women's champ, but she never really blew me away. Britt Baker is, I think, doing some really good stuff, but does that get her onto a Mount Rushmore? Don't know. Let me know who would you put on. I think that'd be very interesting. Who would you put on? I would have Jericho, Cody, Darby Allin, and then not that I'm struggling for that last, because you know you could put MJF on there. You could put Rio because she was the first women's champion. But I just don't know if they deserve their faces to be chiseled into the side of a mountain. I don't know. Let me know who you would go for. But that's my thought process. Jody Gilly says, rewarding, yes. Taxing, yes. Especially with the kids. Friday is a kiddo that's less than 2 years old with a brain tumour. I can't even understand how life can be that cruel, to be honest. With, you know, a 2-year-old and a brain tumour. But, you know, it's people like you that are giving them every opportunity in the world. So, can't thank you enough for that. Daydreamer Pictures, Jeff Delaney says, Days the Wheel of Thumb theme song for old time's sake. Jeff, it's illegal. I'm pretty sure it is actually illegal. I think it's against YouTube's terms of policy to actually sing the song and then not do the actual wheel. So, I don't know. I mean, if you want to get the stream shut down, then that's the way to go about it. I think it's more offensive to do that than to just do swearing for 2 hours, or I don't know, burn a picture of the Queen. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that level. And when I say the Queen, I mean the real Queen, not Charlotte, fake Queen. £10 a podcast says, my AEW Mount Rushmore is Jim Cornette. Oh, £10. You're going to start riots. You're going to start riots. Ballyho, £10 a podcast. Ballyho says Sonny Wolf. Sean says, I'm not trying to be spoilt, but can I get a shout out? Shout out to you, Sean Sean G. I've gone with Sean G. Killer Sasuke Days. When will WWE think about the future? They wouldn't have this part-timers 5 years later. Who would they bring in viewers without part-timers? When will WWE think about the future? They wouldn't have this part-timers 5 years later. Well, I think in regards to NXT, they're very much thinking about the future, maybe too much, to the point where I think it's to a detriment of their ratings. So I think they are looking towards the future. If anything, I think Raw has actually shifted a little bit. If you look at who's come through, you know, Bianca Belair's gone to Raw. We're seeing Austin Theory. They've called up Angel Garza. You know, they're putting a title onto Apollo Crews. First title he's ever won in WWE. Happened on Monday. They put the title on Drew McIntyre. First time Drew had ever been WWE champion. Drew winning the Rumble. So I would actually say 2020 has been quite a good year for them to shift into looking towards the future and starting to invest in the future again. You know, Street Profits, Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink. And apparently Brandon Vink is a big star that they're really going to be investing in. So I do think they are. I do think they are shifting that way. And as I said, maybe a little bit too much in regards to NXT, because when it was the whole who has attacked Finn Balor, I'll happily admit I was one of the first saying it should be Triple H. It should be Triple H, because they're going up against AEW, who have got Jericho, who have got Hardy, who have got Brody Lee, who have got, all these big names. And NXT just can't hang with those names. So they kind of need a little bit of, name recognition, which is why it's no surprise. But it is also a little surprise that Kurt Angle is guest ref. Kurt Angle, I think, is there just so that people know Kurt Angle. It's a name on NXT that people have heard of. Kurt Angle is going to be guest ref. Wow, could he come back and all this? Start that kind of talk. Could he get involved? So, I think they have started to shift. And I think once we get out of the coronavirus period and we get back and we can get a proper draft and everything, I just think that's going to become even more evident as we move further into 2020. I think things like Saudi Arabia are always going to be an exception because the Saudi royal family have given, or the Saudi government, I don't know who it is, Saudi people have given WWE a lot of money. But the caveat is, here's a load of money, but we want these stars. We want to see these big names. Don't go giving us Timothy Thatcher. We want big names. We've heard time and again, they wanted Ultimate Warrior, who's sadly passed away. They wanted Yokozuna, sadly passed away. Do you know what I mean? Like, these are the names that they want. And it's all people that have sadly passed away because they want the legends. So I don't think you're ever going to see any different when it comes to the Saudi shows. But I think when it comes to, other shows, I think you're going to start to see more talent coming through. So I think they've done all right. They've done all right in 2020. I'm not going to be too critical on them. They've done all right. Drew Gulak might be returning, says Harvey. Apparently re-signed, which is good news. Matthew Lopez says, Days, I'm hearing, and what do you think, that Matt Riddle going to SmackDown? I hope they make him champ. Matt Riddle to SmackDown is the rumour, is what's being reported. And I like it. I think that he works on SmackDown. I think that they are, they were meant to be sports-based. Do you know what I mean? Like, we keep hearing about this sports-based, and it doesn't quite come to fruition. But SmackDown was meant to be sports-based, and then we never got Ronda there, and we never got Brock there. Do you know what I mean? Like, all the kind of stuff I was expecting never happened. So, I don't know. For me, Matt Riddle getting called up, SmackDown is the obvious place to put him. It's on Fox. It's sports-based. And, seemingly that's exactly what's going to happen. So, I like it. I think he's got a good personality, a fun personality. I think that he is a sports entertainer and a wrestler. He is perfect for either Raw or SmackDown. There's a lot of people like Timothy Thatcher, who is a wrestler. He's a wrestler. He's a mat-based wrestler. He's a grappler. He, does a lot of scrambling and a lot of mat-based work. That does not translate very well on Raw or SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown is big, colourful, fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, they really do try to have not those kinds of matches. So Timothy Thatcher is someone I would worry for. I think it's why Cesaro hasn't really worked. Cesaro is a great wrestler, but he's not a great personality. No disrespect to Cesaro. But he hasn't quite translated, and I think Timothy Thatcher would be the same. Matt Riddle, though, wow. I mean, we all know what his personality is like. I can see him being a big star. I can see him really, really starting to motor once he moves. So, looking forward to that. I mean, look at Asuka. Asuka down in NXT. Unbeaten streak, unstoppable killer. Nothing funny about her. She was just, you know what I mean? She was just awesome. Everyone knew her as, coming from Japan and being a great wrestler, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. Now she's up on Raw. She's dancing, singing, doing funny little promos. She's one of the biggest comedy acts that they've got now. And she's over more now than she was ever before. So that's kind of what the main roster does. Asuka is a perfect example because she's still awesome in the ring. She's still a fantastic wrestler. But now they've kind of turned up the personality side rather than them worrying about, oh, we can't really invest in Asuka because she can't talk. We don't know, she's not a great talker. Boom. Look at it. Look at what they and her have done. I think it's been a big. I think she's been one of 2020's MVPs, Asuka. But then, I am an Asuka stan, so I don't know. Maybe I'm programmed to think that way. I do love that woman. So she's had a great year. So cut a long story short, I'm excited to see what they do with Matt Riddle, and I do think it would work. Days, imagine Kurt Angle turns heel and becomes Timothy Thatcher's manager, says Bembo Gaming. That would be cool. I'd be on board with him getting involved any which way. Honestly, I think it'd be really good. Heel or face if you was in WWE? I don't know. I think that I could have. I mean, I wouldn't want to wrestle, but if it was cutting promos and having a gimmick and having a character and doing some backstage interviews, going on the bump and doing all this kind of stuff, I reckon I could have fun with either. So I wouldn't mind. I don't think it's really good to pigeonhole yourself, to be honest. Look at Bayley. I would have said Bayley would never work as a heel. Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at her character with the wacky inflatable men and everything, you just go, it's not going to work, man. I just can't see her ever being a heel. The kids love her. She sells a load of merch. She's all about the hug life. But they did it, turned a heel, and I think it's been a great success. I think she's had some really good matches in recent weeks in particular. Match against Charlotte was excellent. Thought her match against Tamina, Money in the Bank, was it? Thought was very good as well. So I think she's been. I think I'm on board with Bayley as well. I think Bayley is doing some really excellent work. I love both of the women's champions. In fact, I like AEW's women's champ as well. I think Hikaru Shida's the best person outside of Britt Baker. I think Hikaru Shida is the best person they could put that title on. I like Big Swole, Hikaru Shida, Britt Baker. Statlander for me has kind of fallen away. I don't know why. Her matches just have been very plain. So she was quite. I was on board with her, but she's simmered down. But Hikaru Shida, I think, is great. I think she's the right person right now to have that title on. And I think Shida versus Britt Baker is going to be a great women's match. Great women's match. And I'm sure we'll get it very soon. Right. We are beginning, my friends. Do I want to hear a dirty joke? No. This is a clean place. This is basically a church. This is a church of wrestling. That's what this is. Welcome to the church of wrestling. We do have people in the crowd. They are spaced out. I'm not seeing any faces that I not recognize, but I mean, Casey Catanzaro I can see in the crowd. They're spaced out. They're standing, and okay. Oh, I'm gonna hate this. I'm gonna hate this, aren't I? I already know I'm gonna hate this. Drake Maverick versus Jake Atlas. Is there boos? I think are there boos for Drake? There might be some. I don't know if I just heard a few boos for Drake Maverick. Did I hear boo? I'm so confused. Kushida. Would you ever consider doing a watch along for AEW Dark? Well, the problem I have with AEW Dark is that for me, it's a little bit like 205 Live in that I'm sure it's got great wrestling. In fact, I'm told by a lot of people that it does. But it never seems to really matter. Do you know what I mean? It never seems to be anything that's like, man, you need to watch it. So if I felt that it was that like essential, then yes, I would. And the same would go for 205 Live. But it never feels essential. Plus also, I tend to record Wrestling Escape Pod on a Tuesday night. Okay, we're starting off with the Inner Circle. I'm just trying to figure out, how do I get more outline? Inner Circle have got a lot of shirts to pay for. They had a truckload of shirts, didn't they? Kushida just making his way out. The elite. Coast Maniac says, that's right, church today, hell tomorrow when we go to Total Divas. Right, we're at Daly's Place, of course. Always at Daly's Place. Jake Atlas making his way down. We got Excalibur, we got JR, we got Tony. So, Inner Circle pep rally tonight. So they're just running through. They're still showing the incomplete belt. So I don't think they've got... Well, maybe they have, but the graphics are the incomplete title. I've got to tell you, even if that belt is painted gold, it doesn't change anything. It needs more detail on the faceplate. In my opinion. That's what I would like to see. A more detailed faceplate, front faceplate for the TNT title. We're underway with Drake Maverick, Jake Atlas, and Kushida. Brian Cage is going to be making his Dynamite debut tonight. Drake is on AEW. Crowd on NXT. They are, yes, there is a crowd on NXT. Hikaru Shida is in action tonight as well. Right choice. And we've got Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks against Joey Janela and Private Party. Over on NXT, we've got Kushida on the outside. Jake Atlas with a moonsault comes crashing down onto Kushida. Atlas with a shoulder charge to the midsection. We're actually going to be starting off with that Private Party. Private Party. And I think, was it Joey Janela? Versus Hardy and the Young Bucks. There we go. Right, so we got the Elite backstage. Kenny's gone with Hangman. Young Bucks said, can we have a different version of you tonight? So we're getting Extreme, Matt. Okay. Matt Hardy is definitely damaging my enjoyment of AEW. I don't mind that little backstage bit. I I'm not going to cope very well if he's going to keep changing his clothes all the time. I tell you what, he is so indecisive. Why doesn't he just choose one version of himself that he's going to be and just stick with it? Yeah, just stick with it. We didn't see this from Mick Foley. Mick Foley, we didn't start a match as Mankind and then halfway through decide he's going to be Cactus Jack and then end as Dude Love and then go back to Mankind again. Or at least not that I can remember. I've got that being the Elite song in my head. We are at commercial break for NXT. Right, Private Party, Joey Janela and Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks. I wonder when we see the Revival. When do we see those boys? Because they're coming. I don't know if you saw Being the Elite. I don't ever tend to watch it. Just time. But obviously I had a lot of people sending me images of the Young Bucks dressed as the Revival. The Revival leaked what they were told the future plans were, where they've got the clock and all the multicolours and everything. They dressed as that on Being the Elite, and I gotta say it was very, very funny. It was very good. Right, we're underway with this first match on AEW. We've got Private Party, Joey Janela taking on the Young Bucks and Matt Hardy. Oh, there's a little bit of blurring on screen for a second there. Matt Hardy is doing great, in my opinion. It's very reminiscent of the Three Faces of Foley. Liam says, Days, I didn't like that pool spot with Matt on AEW because he pretended to drown. It was only a week past from Shad. Personally, I thought it was a little bit tasteless, but just an opinion. I gotta be honest, I watched it at the time. I did not make that connection. That did not cross my mind. So I wasn't offended for that reason. So I did see a few. I mean, I have to say, not many, but there was a few on Twitter that made that same connection. But I mean, you can maybe look at it and say that it wasn't the right time to do that. But 1,000,000%. I mean, I couldn't even be any more sure of anything in my life. I could not be more sure of anything in my life. There was no malice or, do you know what I mean? No way did they do that spot thinking about what had happened that week. No way. No way. So I didn't make that connection either at the time. So, what does the HBO Max? So it looks like AEW are trying to get a little bit more revenue, which is absolutely fair enough and probably the right thing to do, by selling their ring apron and railing space. They've got little adverts for HBO Max, which is good. I think if they're getting some money for that, might as well make some more money whilst there's no crowds. It looks like the ring posts and the turnbuckle pads as well have been covered in HBO Max references. And again, I'm not going to be critical of that. I think you got to do what you got to do in these times to try and get some extra income. So no problems with that from me. Gives the ring a slightly different feel. I also think that they haven't gone this far, but they could have something in the middle of the ring. For some reason, just no one does that. You don't get it on Raw. You don't get it on SmackDown. You don't get it on NXT. You don't get it on AEW. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they don't use the ring. Janela in with the crowd. Matt Hardy jumping in. Did you see Marty on Being the Elite? I didn't know, but I did hear about it. As I said, I don't get a chance to watch Being the Elite. I just tend to get people telling me what was on. And, are they banging on the glass? I just saw in the corner of my eye that it looked like the crowd were banging on the glass a little, which I would love for people to do. I think if you've got that glass there, boom, 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 do you know what I mean? I'd love for it to have that Fight Club kind of, Fight Den kind of feel. Quick little kicks by Kushida to Drake Maverick. We are back on NXT. So we're well underway with big right hand by Kushida, and Drake Maverick goes down. I've got to tell you, I really want Kushida to win this. Kushida, I just think, is a massive star. Should be going for the chat. It should be Adam Cole versus Kushida. Kushida is absolute top tier talent. If you saw him in New Japan, like I know many of you did, you'll know exactly how important he was in New Japan. And so, I think he deserves the success. Clotheslines by Matt, who's in the ring at the moment. Big back body drop. Jake Atlas with that rainbow DDT, I believe they call it. It's where he does a cartwheel into a DDT. It's a really good spot. 1, Matt Hardy 2. Only a 2 count. Kushida on the outside with Jake Atlas. We are well underway with these matches. 2 very good matches. Hardy. Kick to the midsection. No, gets caught. Big right hand by Hardy. Jake Atlas on the outside. Drake Maverick in the ring. I think Kushida is down on the outside. Days, I think AEW needs better production. I don't think it's bad production at all. Nice double work by Matt Hardy. Okay, we're still underway with Kushida on that middle rope. Drake Maverick is climbing up. Jake Atlas is starting to come back in. So are we starting to get like a big triple spot here? Oh! Big boot by Jake Atlas. I didn't think they'd done it with any malice, as they probably filmed it before it happened. Personally, I would have found a way to have taken that part out. Well, you, me, both. Kushida up top with Atlas looking for a superplex. Spanish fly. He's in a Spanish fly position. He goes over into an armbar. Couldn't quite get the armbar up. That was good. Ah, oh, there it is. 1, 2, 3. So Maverick. So Kushida had the armbar on, but it's Drake Maverick that pins Jake Atlas. It's a count, not a submission. And so as a result of that, it is Drake Maverick that goes through to the final. So this horrible storyline continues. Offensive storyline continues. This is a difficult one because I want Drake Maverick to get his job back. So, but I absolutely am not rooting for him now. After how he keeps being presented. You know, they've fired someone seemingly for real, and now they're using it as a way to drive views. I mean, I can't. Well, I'm just not even gonna. I'm not even gonna. We've been there before, my friends. You know my disgust about this story, and my disgust continues. Phantasma. So it's Phantasma versus Drake Maverick. feel sorry for Kushida. Right, we've got Io Shirai, Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley. Guys, this is breaking news from TV Guide. TV Guide is breaking news now. What, is that the actual TV Guide channel? TV Guide breaking some news for us that it's going to be Io Shirai, Charlotte, and Rhea in your house. Over on AEW, that match coming to a close as well. The Young Bucks and Matt Hardy picking up the victory. And probably more exciting, Matt Hardy was able to stay in one ring attire throughout that whole match. Quinn is in quite a bit of trouble. I don't understand. Why doesn't Matt just put his hand on the injury and just heal the injury? I don't understand. Why doesn't, do you know what I mean? Why doesn't he just concentrate really hard and just take the injury away, take the pain away? Why doesn't 3,000-year-old Damascus do that for his friend? So we're at commercial break for NXT. We're done with match number 1. As we said, we've got some big stuff coming up on AEW. We've got Mike Tyson, Britt Baker. Hello. But is this Butcher and Blade? Butcher and Blade. They're dressed as a boy band. Dressed as a boy band from the 90s, all in white. Is this what Butcher and Blade... Is this like Butcher and Blade in their casual attire? This is what Butcher... You know how Butcher and Blade are always in black? You know, the Butcher and everything. And here they are, all in white. This is like... Is this the revival? Is this the revival? The revival arrived. It is the revival! A van pulls up. A van arrives. And out steps the revival, the revolt. Look at this. A van just pulled up, raced around the corner. Couldn't see who was inside. But out they step and they go straight over to the Bucks, but they turn their attention to Butcher and the Blade. So the revival, the revolt, FTR, Cash Wheeler, whatever they're called, they are here on AEW. We knew they were coming. They've been heavily teased on being the Elite. Didn't know if we would see them at Double or Nothing. We didn't see them in Double or Nothing. We're seeing them right now. 20 minutes. 20 minutes into AEW Dynamite. And they are standing over the Young Bucks. And look at this. What a match that will be. That will be a match that happens one day. The Young Bucks versus the Revival. That is going to be money. That is going to be big money. I can tell you that. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what to call them anymore. One's in black, one's in white t-shirts, both in denim. They jump out of the ring. They go back over. I love the car they pulled up in as well. It had a real retro feel, that car. It's not like a new sports car. It's like an old style kind of pickup truck kind of a thing. And they grab one of those Young Bucks notes as a souvenir as they walk away. That was very good. That was done very, very well. There was a few little teases there. So I think they're FTR. I think they're going Fear the Revolt. So, yeah, that's good, man. That's good. That's big news. Very, very exciting stuff. Very, very exciting stuff at the start of AEW Dynamite. How about that? Boo, says Kevin. Kevin, why are you booing, my friend? Don't boo, Kevin. Don't boo. Right, we've got... Who we got coming down now? We have got... Johnny Gargano Days have a feeling that Charlotte's partner could be Mia Yim, because out of everyone, I would say they've got the most respect. That's a good shout, Liam. I saw the vehicle pull up and I was like, is this the revival? Is it now? Because it's like, it's got to be something big if they're coming in a car. Right, lots of boos for Johnny Gargano. Lots of boos for Johnny Gargano. Johnny says there's some great talent here. Johnny, so this is a Johnny Gargano promo. That's what we've got right now, a Johnny Gargano promo. Lots of boos, man. Lots of boos. Johnny Gargano Invitational we've got now. Johnny says that it could be any of you. We are at commercial break on AEW. Who is it? So he's got a bit of paper. Adrian Pilates. I don't know who this is. Adrian Alanis. Okay, Adrian Alanis making his way down. Okay, so we've got Johnny Gargano against Adrian Alanis. Why didn't they just call him Alanis Morissette? Right, what have we got happening on AEW now? We are back on AEW. We've got a little package. I think this is a video package for Moxley. Lots of... All I can hear are boos for Johnny Gargano. That's literally all I can hear is the crowd booing Johnny Gargano. Yeah, we are just seeing some highlights for Moxley. Need to change over the... Do you know what? I didn't even get a chance to change over the graphic. And already Johnny's won. So, Johnny already victorious. I'll just do Gargano promo. That'll do. That'll do for now. And we'll move on to the next segment in a second. I can tell you that Moxley is going over to the commentary table on AEW. Man, we said this was going to be action-packed. I didn't even factor for the Revolt making an appearance tonight. So he says he's not been able to do anything for the past few days. Oh, hello. I don't know what they're doing over on NXT, but I think they're taking the mick out of those Yeah, they're taking the mick. Mia Yim and Keith Lee are taking the mick out of those dinner promos. Mia Yim says, I've got no titles. I'm a pixie and I've got no titles because I love living in the shadows of my partner. So they're just taking the mick. We've got Brian Cage coming out. Brian Cage looks like an absolute killer. Looks like an absolute monster. He was definitely the right person to win that ladder match. Brian Cage. Some jobber, I think. I don't even know who this guy is. Where's Pineapple Pete? This guy's taking his job. I don't know. Yeah, that should have been Pineapple Pete. Taz has come out again, so it looks like Taz is the manager of Brian Cage. Taz has come out. We got Tegan Knox is a part of this as well for some reason. Brian Cage has got a power bomb on this guy. Picks him up again, looking for another one. Oh. 1, 2, 3. So Brian Cage with the victory. Brian Cage picking up the victory over on AEW. This little promo thing is all right. It's not really holding my attention on NXT, if I'm being honest. But it's all right. I like the fact that they're making fun of these sit-down things that they've been doing. So Taz is talking to Moxley now. Right, we're hearing from Drake, Maverick. Kushida saying to Drake Maverick, you fight for title, just make sure you go and win. So Kushida basically giving Drake Maverick his blessing. Taz says, this is Brian Cage. Beat him if you can. Survive if he lets you. Moxley says, well, this is going to be fun. That is a big, big challenge. Brian Cage looks like an absolute beast. Okay, so I think both shows are just going to commercial break so far. Well, it's been everything that we thought and a lot more. Did not expect to see the Revival tonight, if I'm being honest. I thought this show was stacked enough as it was. I really didn't expect to see them on this one. So not only have we got everything that we've been going through on the preview, but we've just had this absolutely massive debut of the Revival, them coming out. That's obviously the big talking point of the night. And yeah, I mean, we're a quarter of a way through these shows. It has been incredible. I think both of the first matches on both shows were good. I don't like Drake Maverick winning, but I expected it. Hardy and Young Bucks picking up the victory. Yeah, no problem with that. And obviously Revival coming out. That promo just on NXT kind of missing the mark a little bit for me. But yeah, the big story, there's no two ways about it. The Revolt, the Revival, whatever you want to call them, they are now in AEW. It's not just talk anymore. Even just that brief little stare down that they had with the Young Bucks, even just that brief little moment was incredible. I'm excited, man. I've got Backstreet Boys stuck in my head. I tell you, I don't know what the Butcher and the Blade were wearing. I don't know what they were wearing. I don't know why they were in white. But very, very weird, very strange. But yeah, it was. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to have too much fun with that. Before we knew it, there was an invasion, and the Revival were here. James Chadwick says FTR should have debuted at Double or Nothing, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. I think it would have. It's hard to know where. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there was. Did the Stadium Stampede need them? I don't know. I don't know that it did. And I don't know what other match you would have put them into. You could only have put them into Stadium Stampede. So, again, a little bit tricky. Little bit tricky. I can see why they've delayed it a little bit. Now, I am looking forward to this. I am genuinely looking forward to this. This is Britt Baker, who's being wheeled out. So we've got a Britt Baker segment. She's in a wheelchair, and the wheelchair says Role Model, but it's spelt roll as in ROLL. A few boos for Britt Baker. She's sat down. The rules of being a role model. Right, I'm here for this. So, Britt Baker promo. I mean, she's in a wheelchair. Her knee doesn't look great. I don't know if she's just overselling it or what she's doing, but it doesn't look like she's going to be back anytime soon. I thought they said it wasn't as serious as they feared. Don't hurt the role model. Rule number 3, don't hurt the role model. So she says that what happened to her wasn't an accident. It was a conspiracy. Okay, so she's going to show us some footage from last week. So she's showing us a picture of a 3-on-1 calculated attack. Shotzi Blackheart is on NXT now. Britt Baker says, without her, there is no women's division. I tell you what, it must be nice for Shotzi to not have to just stand there. She actually gets to walk and move around right now. Britt Baker saying that Chris Statlander being an alien is a crock of beep. Kushida. carries a weapon. She is a conspirator as well. Nyla Rose. Britt Baker says, I've seen Nyla come off the top rope thousands of times. Are you telling me that she couldn't have guided herself away from my leg? It's not really a... it's certainly not an interview. There's a new board now. Aubrey, the ref, is connected in some way. There's a lot of... is she going to start a feud with the ref? She says, I present the evidence. Where's this leading? Where's this going? Dakota isn't Charlotte's partner. A web of evils. Aubrey. So she says the brains of the operation was Aubrey. There's a little Aubrey chant. Is it a coincidence she happens to always be around when I'm injured? Wow, that's an interesting twist. Shotzi with a forearm strike. Oh, I love that kick. Love that kick from Shotzi. She goes to kick the midsection, but delays it, kicks the head. Love that. Britt says she will be back at All Out. I can't remember when All Out is. But she's coming back at All Out. I wonder if she's going to have a match with Aubrey. But there we go. The role model is rolling away, and Dakota Kai's rolling away. Dakota Kai is rolling away in Shotzi's tank. She's starting to, like, rip things off the tank. She's starting to destroy the tank. Oh, and Tegan has come down. You would think that tanks would be better made, wouldn't you? You really would think that tanks would be able to withstand some Dakota Kai pulling. But bits of the tank being ripped off. Grand Theft Tank, it was. Yeah, it was Grand Theft Tank. That was pretty cool. I gotta say, the Britt Baker promo wasn't like funny or anything, but I mean, it had a bit of humor in there, but did not see the Aubrey allegations come in. That took me by surprise. So her blaming Aubrey was strange, but I'm on board with it because I suppose in a way it gives her something to do. If she can't compete, she can't go on commentary, what can she do? Well, she could start a little feud with Aubrey and do, you know, a little back and forth with her. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then Dakota Kai stealing the tank, trying to drive away with it. I thought that was pretty fun as well. So, yeah, there's some good stuff. I tell you what, it is absolutely flying. We're 40-odd minutes into these shows. 40-odd minutes in. It's been pretty cray-cray. Is Dakota and Tegan still an ongoing feud? It is. It's a feud that I don't think will ever stop. And I don't think it should stop. I wouldn't want to see them making up again anytime soon, you know? It's quite a passionate feud. So I kind of feel that Dakota's got Raquel and she's gone in a very different direction. So I think they can be enemies throughout the rest of the time. A little bit like The Rock and Stone Cold, you know? Right, we're at commercial break on both shows. Don't forget, I'll get your thoughts in around about 15 minutes' time. In around about 15 minutes' time, I'll get your thoughts. That'll be when we're at the halfway point. Let me go to the chat. Days, my AEW Mount Rushmore would be Jericho, Moxley, Omega, and MJF. Imtiaz says, Days, did you get your soil plaque from the Boneyard match yet? No, I didn't, actually. Do you know what? I need to look into that. AEW figures again. Yeah, we've just got a little advert for those for Jazzwares, which is understandable. A lot of excitement around those. FTR have got some new merch on Pro Wrestling Tees. It stands for F the Rest, says Ben the Tank. Ben the Tank, was you just ridden by Dakota Kai? I did not expect to say that out loud. The Swamp Manor says Britt and Aubrey go way back. Waleed says, Days, I've never been a fan of the Revival, but maybe it was because of the booking in WWE. Let's see what happens in AEW. I think it's going to be. I think they're going to be used very well. To be honest, I think once we get crowds back, I think they'll be used very well. I can see them having some classics with the Lucha Bros, with the Young Bucks, maybe even Kenny and Hangman. Seems like they're going to be feuding with Butcher and Blade as well. So, yeah, I think there's some teams there for them to have some fun with. Tegan has come down. She's cheering on Shotzi. Shotzi picked up by her hair by Raquel Gonzalez. Raquel scooping and slamming Dakota Kai. Backstage, we've got the Inner Circle. Jericho says that they've got one of the biggest spectacles in AEW history. Orange Cassidy in the background. What's Cassidy doing? Cassidy just walking through whilst Jericho is talking. Okay, they're going after Cassidy by the looks of it. Jericho turning his attention to Cassidy. Christy Janes from Rio de Janeiro. Okay, non-title match. Christy Janes, was it? Christy Janes? Boom. Okay, Shida making her way down. She's got, obviously, the championship belt around her waist. Shotzi, it's been a decent match. Oh! Goes jumping backward, a bit like a coffin drop. Goes hurling backwards, takes out Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Tegan picking up Shotzi. Candice has come out of nowhere. Candice has just come down, getting in the face here of Tegan. Double teamwork by Dakota and Raquel. Here we go. Raquel Gonzalez has got Shotzi up and slams her down. 1, 2, 3. And Raquel Gonzalez, thanks to a lot of outside interference by Dakota Kai, picks up the victory. Obviously, we've still got a big second hour to come with a cage match and Mike Tyson. Hikaru Shida getting the full support of the crowd. NXT has got a crowd as well, should mention. The Revolt versus Kenny Omega and Adam Page for the AEW World Championship, says Matthew. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Days Drake Maverick on SmackDown. I've not heard that news. That jump was scary. It was quite scary. Ref went straight over to check that she was all right. A lot of outside interference in this match. I don't know what's happening here with Shida. I don't know, what were they doing? They were just standing around for a few minutes mid-match. So, end of the match on NXT. We're still underway with this Shida match. Dakota Kai with the Space Jam Jordans on. The Christy Haynes is giving me a Tanyara Conti vibe. Yeah. She certainly likes showing off. Shouting out to the crowd. A little bit, maybe a little bit too much showboating from her, considering she's in with the champion. But that might ultimately be her downfall. She's got very interesting ring attire. That ring attire is like an explosion, isn't it? It's very Brazilian. It's very carnival. You got green and yellow, and you got the Brazilian flag on the back that I can see. Double knees by Shida. We are at some kind of promo package here for Finn and Damian Priest. Shida on the outside. There seems to be more people at ringside tonight. Seem to have doubled the amount of people that are at ringside. Shida screaming at the camera. It's like AEW and NXT have conversations about what matches are when, so they can have the same match on at the same time. It is strange, isn't it? We've said, I wonder if there's like a how to book a show, like book that they've both read. Or maybe like NXT is based on the teachings of Dusty Rhodes, and so is AEW or something. You're bored in your house. You're stuck in your house. So let NXT take over your house. NXT take over in your house. Nice camel clutch. Accolade by Shida, but doesn't get a submission. Why didn't she get the submission? 1 week from Sunday, NXT TakeOver in your house. We are going to be watching an NXT TakeOver this weekend in preparation. We're going to be going back to one of the best NXT TakeOvers. NXT TakeOver Chicago this Sunday. We will be watching that. Shida going up to the middle rope. Nice Inzaguri by James. Priest versus Balor at TakeOver in your house will be awesome. C Wrestling says, basically, Cody learned how to book from a show from the McMahons. Well, no issue with it. If it works. It is very strange, isn't it, how both shows are so similar sometimes. Shoulder up by Shida. James is staying toe-to-toe with Shida. It's a good introduction for her. Good way to bring her up to the show. I don't know if this is her debut or not, but she's not someone that I recall seeing before. Here we go. Kushida with the pin. Shoulder up. Oh, plants her down. And she gets the win. Kushida with the win. Hard fought, but never really in doubt. Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Dickory Doc. Well done to her. She, it was a non-title match anyway, but gets the win. And I thought that Christy Janes looked pretty decent. So saying that the field is wide open. We are at commercial break. We are approaching the halfway point. Are we going to get some more news on the Revolt, the FTR? I think we are. I think they said stick with us after this break. So, man, there's so many breaks. So many breaks on a Wednesday. Both shows, though, really working hard, giving us a lot of stuff. I mean, both shows moving at quite the pace tonight. We've seen a lot of stuff within 50-odd minutes. And we are at commercial break for AEW. We're just about to go back, I think, for NXT. Try and find the chat again. I'm always having to juggle like so many different things. Days, when will Blood and Guts happen? Haven't heard, but not sure. Don't know when it's been moved to. But hopefully we shouldn't have to wait too long. I don't think they necessarily want to be doing that without a crowd. We're in the hotel room. We've got Kenny and Hangman. They're just hanging out. Hangman seems to be pointing up at something. I think he spotted the camera. Yeah, he spotted the camera. So Hangman looking at the camera, trying to figure out what it is. Right, we are moving on. So this is very much how they're going to try and keep you watching the second hour for NXT. Right now, we've got Rhea Ripley making her way down. So looks like we're going to be getting the Ripley Io Charlotte mystery partner match. And as we said, that's going to be the way that they're going to try and convince you to stick with this rather than switching the channels for the second hour and going over to AEW. Because it is always a little bit surprising that they don't have these sorts of matches as the main events. But of course, we've got a massive main event this week anyway, with that massive cage match. Don't know how they're going to set all that cage up, or if it's actually all pre-recorded and everything. Because we all know that scaffolding is going to take forever to set up. But I think this week's show is pre-recorded. I don't think this one's live. Not seeing anything in the hotel room. Just got literally Omega drinking milk, and Hangman slumped on the sofa drinking beer. I don't know if you guys got to see that or not. Whilst you lot might be at commercial break, this might be like a little exclusive. Okay, so we've got Io Shirai, the genius of the sky. Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. And we don't know who. We don't know who. Chalmers says we did. We just got picture in picture. Cool. Battle Royal or Mike Tyson next? Yeah, we've still got the Battle Royal to come, haven't we? You're right. Well, next is the American Nightmare. It's Cody. So we're actually going to hear from the TNT champ. This might actually lead into that Battle Royal, because the Battle Royal is to try and find out who's going to be the challenger for that TNT championship, and it's still not finished. We've got lots of pyro going off. Cody coming out with on saying a few words. Charlotte making her way down. We're going to find out now who is Charlotte's partner. She seems to be... Was she gesturing to someone in... I don't know who she's gesturing to. So Charlotte making her way into the ring. We're about to find out who her mystery partner is on NXT. The referee separating the ropes. We've got Cody promo. Cody says he's got a question for Tony. Right, here we go. It is Chelsea Green. Well done to those that called Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green is Charlotte's partner. Makes sense. Does make sense. I was leaning towards Candice. I thought Candice was biggest heel they had. But obviously Candice getting involved in that last match. So Chelsea Green is the partner here. Okay, what's Cody saying? So, Cody says that he is the first champion of America's greatest network. I'm sure HBO Max, who are sponsoring this, are going to be over the moon to hear that. Right, we've got Chelsea Green and Charlotte taking on Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. They're talking amongst themselves. Oh, that was good. That was good. I was going to say the crowd in AEW aren't paying attention, but thankfully, Brandy turned around and hit them and told them to pay attention. I once made my ex cry because she said some hateful things in an argument. Chelsea, who is with Miss Wu, yes. Charlotte Hogan running wild. Okay, Cody says, judge me by what I'm about to do next because I'm about to turn a pace. Open challenge. So is that belt going to be defended every week, is it? He says, we're still in the pandemic. I've got to say, it is interesting hearing him speak. He says, we're in the pandemic era of wrestling. Cody says, you blew projections away in regards to Double or Nothing. He thanks Tony. Every week he's going to look to issue open challenges. I mean, that is going to really bring something to the show. Battle Royal on the way. Not sure when it's dropping. Halftime scores will be coming up soon. Still to come, I think Mike Tyson is next. I think we're going to commercial break with AEW. Chelsea Green is feuding with Io Shirai. Charlotte looking for a tag. Chelsea rolling in. Charlotte was tempted to put her foot on the back of Io's head, but the ref was right there. Io gets thrown into the corner. Quick kicks to the midsection by Charlotte. Io slumps down. In comes Chelsea Green, who does look very much like Britt Baker. She is like, I mean, it might be easier if Adam Cole breaks up with Britt Baker and starts going out with Chelsea Green, because she looks pretty much the same. But she isn't a dentist, and that might be what he is attracted by. Perhaps he's got a thing for dentists. So he might want to stay away from Kane. Kicks to the back of Chelsea Green. Io Shirai shouting at Charlotte, telling her to back off. Rhea comes running round, telling Charlotte to back away as well. You can start getting your halftime scores in. We might as well start doing it. We are already 4 minutes past, so it doesn't look like both shows are going to go to commercial at the same time. Oh! Io went hard into the railings. So, yeah, get your thoughts in. Get your halftime scores in. What are you scoring this show so far? Now we're at commercial. Boom. I asked at the right time. Damien says 8 for both shows. Zack Ryder is dating Chelsea Green. She can choose who she dates, though, can't she? 8.25 for AEW. The FTR debut was big for that show. I agree. That's the biggest moment of the night so far. AEW 8.25, NXT 7.5, NXT 8, AEW 8.25. Eric says AEW 10, NXT 3. Chris says NXT 7.25, AEW 5, 6 for now. 7 for AEW, says Jay. NXT 5.75. Skill says AEW 5, NXT 7. The Pickle says, Days, yes, that TNT championship will be defended each week. NXT 9.5, says Sandman. Lots of scores firing through. No disastrous scores for, well, it's in a couple, but by and large, nothing disastrous for either show. And I do think both shows have been action-packed this week. No denying the biggest moment is the arrival of the Revival / the Revolt. No denying that. Okay, Jimmy Havoc making his way down. So this is going to be Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. I don't know who they're taking on. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian versus Who are they facing? Aubrey in there. SCU. Okay. Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian versus SCU. Over on NXT, we got Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley taking on Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green. If you are just joining us, we've got just over 50 minutes left. Just over 50 minutes left in this show, or both of these shows. And we've still got some big stuff to come. We've still got the cage match. We've still got the Battle Royal. We've still got Mike Tyson. There's big things to come. We've still got Adam Cole talking to William Regal. We don't know what's going to come out of that negotiation. So some big things still to come in just over 50-odd minutes. Both shows have been pretty solid. Biggest moment, the Revolt, the Revival arrived. The arrival of the Revival. Yeah, good stuff. SCU. Brandon says AEW 12 out of 12. NXT 12 out of 12. Like to see that. Like to see that you're enjoying both. Right. Charlotte with a headlock on Io. Io trying to make the tag to Charlotte. We're underway with SCU versus Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. Gotta be honest, I'm not too fussed by that match. I'm a little bit more into this women's match on NXT. It doesn't mean anymore, but obviously that's a big match that we're building towards, that triple threat. NXT TakeOver in your house. Io versus Rhea versus Charlotte. Charlotte accidentally just chops Chelsea Green. Io moves out the way and Chelsea Green gets chopped. So, a few problems there between these two. Rhea trying to get into the ring. Charlotte doing some lovely work. Dragging Io over to the wrong corner. Chelsea Green is pulling Io's hair. So, Io, her hair being pulled. Chelsea going over, talking some trash to Rhea Ripley. Io's managed to get up with a crossbody. Crossbodies Chelsea Green, rolls over, tags in Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley with a clothesline goes over to the corner. Forearm smash to Chelsea. Clothesline to Chelsea. Kicks real quick knees to the head. Nice snapmare. Oh, vicious. That spot is dangerous, but vicious as well. The drop kick to the head. Chelsea Green just sat in the ring. Chelsea goes face first. Big boot by Charlotte. Here we go. Rhea going over. Chelsea. Reversal by Rhea. Chelsea goes over. Can't hold on to the ropes. Gets rolled up, but big boot by Charlotte in the face of Rhea Ripley. Ripley down. Charlotte looking to quickly drag Ripley to the middle of the ring. Trying to put on figure 4. Looking for figure 8, but Io comes in with a nice drop kick. Breaking that up. It's got such a pace to it, this match. Over on AEW, we've got some lovely work. Again, talk about pace. That's exactly what you get in here. SCU working really well together on Jimmy Havoc. Just getting a 2 count as Io charges over. Double knees into Charlotte. 1, 2, kick out. Big slap. And again. Jimmy Havoc running into the corner. Io, double stomp, midsection to Charlotte. 1, 2. Jimmy Havoc almost getting pinned there. Jimmy Havoc, no, with the pin. So Kazarian almost getting pinned. Jimmy Havoc reversing it. Now tags in Kip Sabian. Nice missile drop kick by Io Shirai. We've got action absolutely everywhere. Both matches moving at such a pace. Io charging into Rhea Ripley by mistake, knocking her off. Charlotte using the ropes to get the win. Charlotte and Chelsea beating Io and Rhea. Io accidentally knocking into Rhea Ripley. Look at the shock on the face of Io Shirai. Good match on NXT. Very good match on NXT, yes. Decent match over on AEW as well. Charlotte going over, holding up the NXT women's title. Boo-hoo to Rhea Ripley. Jimmy Havoc in the ring right now. Good to see Jimmy working, says Rashad. Charlotte wins. Charlotte does. It is Charlotte that wins that, yes. Using the ropes very well. Lots of boos. I gotta tell you that Chelsea Green and Charlotte look very good as a tag team pair. They look very good as a tag team pair. Io Shirai shouting at Charlotte. We're backstage with Johnny and Candice. Johnny Gargano says, we are the one true power couple. Johnny wants the North American title and Candice wants Mia next week. She looks at the camera and says, you should be ashamed of yourself. There he is. There's Kurt. Kurt in a WWE referee's shirt. And Kurt talking to Matt Riddle. Kurt goes to shake his hand and Matt Riddle puts his fist out. They end up fist bumping. Up next, we've got the Regal Adam Cole negotiations. It's going to be great to see. I love Regal. I'm a big Regal fan. It's great to see Kurt Angle. It's going to be great to see William Regal. Jimmy Havoc coming in. Can't wait to get that Kenny Omega figure. Monica King, shout out to you, says Green is not bad. Yeah, boy, Yoshi Sensei, shout out to you. DJ B Tazzy says, I'm loving both of these shows. Both of the shows are delivering. Both of the shows are delivering. Quick stomps by Kip Sabian on Frankie Kazarian. It always helps when one show goes to commercial. That's exactly what NXT have done. We got just over 40 minutes now. 44 minutes left. We've still got that Battle Royal. We've still got Mike Tyson. We've still got the cage match. We've still got Regal and Cole. Both shows stacking the final quarter. Here we go. Jimmy Havoc coming in. Big strikes coming into Kazarian. They're trading forearm strikes back and forth. Rake of the eyes by Jimmy Havoc. Havoc driving Kazarian back and a chop across the chest. And another one as well. A few chops coming in. Kip Sabian jumps into the ring. Collides into the midsection. Aubrey animated, as always. I think, I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Aubrey fan. I think she can sometimes actually distract from the wrestlers. But what I will give Aubrey credit for is I think that she has very much got people questioning and talking about what is the modern role of a referee. You know, I mean, like, referees have always been the same. They've always been in the background. They've always been out the way. In fact, most of the time you even forget there's a referee there. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't even see them or notice them. They're just like, I don't know how they do it. They turn invisible. So yeah, most of the time you don't even notice a referee is in the ring. And that was always the sign of a good referee. They always said a good referee you would never even know was there. Aubrey's taken a completely different approach. She's so big and animated with her hand gestures. And there's always a spot where she'll get involved at some point, you know? And her facials and everything. I'm not personally a big fan of it. It goes against everything I'm used to seeing. I'm not down on it either. I'm not like offended by it or anything like that. But I do think it raises an interesting question of what new referees should be doing in this day and age. You know, what is the role of the referee? Is that the future? Should more refs be doing that? Is it just an Aubrey thing? I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question. What it is great seeing is more female referees. It's great to see more female referees and it just not be a thing now. You know, we're starting to see more coming through in NXT as well, and that's great. Long overdue. Kip Sabian up top. Big double stomp onto Scorpio Sky. Goes for the pin. 2. No, kick out. Kick out. In comes Sabian running over. Tries to drop kick Frankie Kazarian. Leg drop to the back of the head by Kazarian. Jimmy Havoc gets thrown into the corner. Uppercut by Scorpio Sky. We've got Tom Phillips. Okay, so Adam Cole wants to talk to William Regal. Okay, so they're doing this over like Zoom. Adam Cole says he would have negotiated a better intro than what Regal just gave him. Okay. Regal says, I've got no time for whining. And Adam Cole says, I need to keep this very simple for you. Undisputed Era deserve a shot at the tag titles. They had to fight a team they weren't prepared for. Adam Cole says that he doesn't want Velveteen Dream stepping in his ring anymore. William Regal says, I think Velveteen Dream deserves another chance. Sabian and Jimmy Havoc picking up the win. Adam Cole says Velveteen Dream is a narcissist, is completely out of his mind, and he is obsessed with himself. Regal says, yes, Velveteen does take spotlight, create a spotlight, but so do you. And Adam Cole's like, how dare you compare me to the Velveteen Dream? Tell you what, just watching these two talk, go back and forth on Zoom is so entertaining. We've got MJF as well, who's also very entertaining. So I think MJF says he's going to be entering the Battle Royal. William Regal says, if you want to negotiate, let's negotiate, or you can still keep acting like a bay. Okay, so Adam Cole says, once I beat the Velveteen Dream in your house, I want you to say that he'll never get another shot. Cole versus Velveteen. NXT Championship at TakeOver. But with a caveat. I'll find a location. Okay, so it's going to be... Wow, this is quite interesting. So it's going to be Adam Cole against Velveteen Dream in a weird location. We don't know where, but it's not going to be in Full Sail by the sounds of it. It's going to be somewhere that they can showcase their talents. So I'm getting the feeling it's going to be somewhere quite outlandish. Maybe a nightclub or something? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Where would the Velveteen Dream... Where would the Velveteen Dream be able to express himself the most? It's going to be somewhere crazy, I think. A club would be amazing. Like an empty club. With, like, the lights. I don't know. Would it be amazing? I'm starting to question myself now. But, yeah, I could... Top of my head, somewhere like a club or something like that. Maybe Joe Exotic Zoo, I don't know. But they're going to do it in a weird location. And I think if Adam Cole wins, then William Regal will say that Velveteen can't have another shot at the title. Interesting. Right, we've got Battle Royal. Okay, we've got Luther coming down. That apparently Jericho's a big fan of Luther. We got Wardlow in there. We got MJF in there. It looks like we've got Peter Avalon making his way down. Don't know if you saw Peter Avalon dressing as Ruby Riott. That was an image that he posted the other day, which was incredible. If you've not seen that, so funny. So good. Brandon Cutler is making his way down as well. So Brandon Cutler's in this. Peter Avalon, the librarian, is in this. Luther, Wardlow, MJF, Christopher Daniels getting involved in this as well. Days, look at Zack Ryder's Twitter. Oh, just what's it say? Just let us know. A strip club match. Do you know what? They could. They absolutely could. I'm not saying that... Wow, they could have women there as well. I don't know if they will. Certainly the women would be clothed. But, I don't know, yeah. I mean, I could see them... I feel like it's going to be some... I don't know if they'd go that far. But a club. I could see a club. I think it's going to be somewhere pretty outlandish. Somewhere that's going to play to Velveteen Dream's strengths. The only problem I've got with this whole match is that I still don't know what's happening with the allegations against Velveteen Dream. I seriously don't know what's come of it. And it makes it difficult to root for him until you know what's happened. If it's all done and it was a load of rubbish and it was all, do you know what I mean, fake news, then so be it. But I do still think that's a problem. I really do still think that's a problem. Oh, hello. Billy Gunn? Billy Gunn's going to enter? This is for the TNT title. Billy Gunn could win this. I could see it being Billy Gunn against Cody next week. There we go. Billy Gunn's son. The son of Billy Gunn. Baby Gunn. BB Gunn. Orange Cassidy. Now, is Orange Cassidy going to come out? Because we saw him earlier and it seemed like... Yeah, here he is. He has come out. This match has already started. The match has already started and Orange Cassidy still hasn't made it into the ring yet. In all fairness, they didn't give him much of a chance. Santana and Ortiz attacking Orange Cassidy from behind. Ortiz and Santana attacking, yes. DJ B Tazzy says, I also hope those dream allegations have been cleared. I hope we find out about it. I really do. I mean... The allegation was made public. The findings or whatever, you know, should be made public as well. If the allegations were all behind closed doors, then fine, we don't need to know about it. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't know about it, but we do know about it, and that it is a problem for me. I can't root for Velveteen Dream if I don't know what's going on with those allegations. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan are in a pub somewhere. Can't be in the UK. It must be like a theme pub or something. I think there are theme pubs in Orlando, actually. I'm sure I saw like a British-themed pub when I was over there. Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream. Okay, who's this? Leon Ruff. Leon Ruff. Against Tommaso. Right, are we going to see Karrion Kross here, do you think? I'd imagine he's going to make an appearance, isn't he, as we're building towards a match between Ciampa and Kross. Might need eyes in your back of your head here, Ciampa. Slowly making his way down. Sonny Kiss has been eliminated. MJF gets back into the ring. Marco Stunt is in this match. Luchasaurus is in this match as well. We've got down to around about 10, 11 people. Scarlett has come walking down. So Scarlett has come out and she's just staring at Tommaso. Tommaso staring back at her. He's having a look around. So Tommaso, little bit concerned, as you would be. She is just... Yeah, and she is getting into the mind. Quick little roll-up, but a kick out by Tommaso. Pace of this Battle Royal is quite slow. Leon is all over Tommaso here. Tommaso needs to be on his best. This Leo Ruff is quite good. Or Leon Ruff, I should say. I keep thinking he's Leo Rush. Scarlett, not Charlotte. William Hensey, the council call with Eli Drake at 9 p.m. for me days. I have some good questions lined up. I'll have fun, bud. Scarlett just getting a little bit closer to the ring. She's kind of playing, you know that game where when the person's not looking, you take another step forward? She's kind of playing that game. Tommaso blows her a kiss. Plants down Leon Ruff. That was a rough landing. Rolls him over. 1, 2, 3. Tommaso wins, which now means that he can pay his full attention to Scarlett, who turns around and starts to walk away. Wow. Actually, she still stands and stares. Battle Royal-wise, we're still chugging along. We got Luchasaurus in there, Marco Stunt in there. Peter Avalon is still in there. Thought he'd be one of the first to go. Brandon Cutler, Jungle Boy is in there as well. So all of Jurassic Express. I think Marco Stunt's trying to eliminate Luchasaurus. He's grabbed him by the leg. Luchasaurus is just backed up in the corner. Scarlett is now starting to turn and walk away. Here we go. Cross has got a message. Karrion Kross says, I'd like to take a moment to talk about the serious mistake that you made last week. I promise you, June 7th, I'll make you feel something you've never felt in your life. TikTok. Smile on the face of Scarlett. I find her a lot more intriguing when she's not singing along to things. Good. She walks away. I like it. I like that. I thought she was excellent. She didn't do anything, but I thought she was excellent at not doing anything. Matt Riddle, Timothy Thatcher, Kurt Angle, special guest referee. Next. Cage match. Cage match. Matt Riddle versus Timothy Thatcher. I don't know if that's got an E in it in Timothy or not. I don't know. I just don't know. I've gone with that. I'm quite happy with it. Okay, so we're coming back from commercial break on AEW. It's been a couple of eliminations, but Marco Stunt's in there. Wardlow is in there. Christopher Daniels is in there. Luchasaurus is in there. Jungle Boy is in there. Is MJF still around? Yeah, I think he is in the corner. Yeah, there he is. There's MJF. Daniels, Marco Stunt looking for a head scissor takedown. Couldn't get it. Daniels. Oh, Daniels gets eliminated by Marco Stunt. Marco Stunt manages to head scissor take down or take over the top rope. Daniels. Marco round the back with a sleeper hold on Wardlow. Wardlow picks up Marco and hurls him out, and Marco's gone now. So Daniels gets eliminated by Marco. Marco gets eliminated by Wardlow. We've got Luchasaurus in there with MJF. Wardlow and Luchasaurus. Face to face, big right hand by Luchasaurus. And again, right hand back by Wardlow. Oh, nice head kick. Very agile, Luchasaurus. MJF taking the knee away. Big right hands. Couple of big right hands by Billy Gunn. Big right hands. Stuns Ward, though. Billy Gunn gets thrown into Luchasaurus. And I gotta tell you, Billy Gunn is like as big as Luchasaurus. don't know why. I'm quite surprised at that. I would have swore that Luchasaurus was bigger than Billy Gunn. Look at this. Both slugging it out. Oh, they're looking to eliminate both, and both get eliminated. Luchasaurus and Billy Gunn were just trading shots over by the ropes. Wardlow and MJF working together. So we're down to... I mean, is Orange in this? Orange is only now rolling into the ring. Here we go. Orange is into the ring now. Orange tapping on the shoulder of MJF. And just lightly pushing MJF. MJF pushes down Orange. Wardlow, though, picking up Orange. We're down to 4. He's got the ring. Oh! Misses Orange. Hits Wardlow by mistake. We're down to 4. We're down to Jungle Boy. MJF's gone. MJF eliminated. Jungle Boy, Orange, Wardlow gone. We're down to either Orange or Jungle Boy. 1-on-1 right now. The only downside is whoever wins this, they're not winning that TNT title. I can't see them taking it off of Cody already. That's the only downside. This would be a good. This would be a good match. Jungle Boy to the outside, but stays on the edge of the ring. Flips over the top, grabs Orange, hurls him over. Orange holding on, one-handed. One-handed. Camera going round, showing that his feet never touch the floor. Head scissor takedown, goes against the ropes. Superman punch by Orange. They're showing that structure, which is incredible on NXT, and Kurt Angle's music plays. Man, this is going to be so hard. We've got an amazing cage match. Well, what I presume will be an amazing cage match. It looks amazing. We got Kurt Angle on the way. I can't see how it's not going to be amazing. We've got the end of this battle royal that's amazing. We got Mike Tyson still to come. Here we go. Jungle Boy, head scissor takedown. Jungle Boy eliminates. Jungle Boy eliminates Orange Cassidy. And it is Jungle Boy that is victorious. I wonder why Kurt Angle has got WWE attire when all the other refs seem to have NXT on theirs. Awesome cage setup. Yes, that cage is awesome. Jungle Boy wins. He does. Good. Really good. I'd love to see a match between Orange Cassidy and Jungle Boy straight 1-on-1. I think that'd be really good. Such a bright future, Jungle Boy. Such a bright future. He's going to be a big, 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 big star. So, Jungle Boy versus Cody next week should be a really good match for the TNT title. We're just showing how we got to this cage match. Jungle Boy is the Kofi of Jurassic Express. Lucha is the Big E, and Marco Stunt is Xavier. Next week, we've got Kenny and Hangman taking on Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian. We've still got Le Champion, Chris Jericho in action next week. I don't think there are cameramen on that platform above, so I think it is there for the wrestlers. Jon Moxley against Brian Cage at Fyter Fest. Referee just checking on Timothy Thatcher. Taylor the Tape 6'3", 225 pounds. Reach, 78 inches. And he's starting on the top. He's starting on that platform. He's not started in the ring. He's climbed up and he's got onto that platform. Wow. And now here comes Riddle. This is going to be sick. This is going to be amazing. Here comes Riddle. I really hope they perform here because I really like these two. Matt Riddle, for me, hasn't worked so well in a tag team. I think some of the humor was a little wide of the mark. I think he's, for me, always, you know, blazed his own path. He's very much a solo star, a singles wrestler. I just don't see him being in tag team. But he is starting up there as well. And I think Timothy Thatcher is climbing down. AEW just showing us some recaps of the Stadium Stampede. But we're underway with this cage match and a takedown already. My God, this is amazing. This is hard hitting. Round the back. He's trying to get round the back and he's trying to get a looks like a rear naked choke that he's trying to apply. These two going straight at each other. Oh my God, this is so good. It looks good. It feels good. We've got a headlock by Thatcher on Matt Riddle. We've got the celebration. The inner circle pep rally. German suplex. Elbow drop by Matt Riddle. What's up, bro? Straight down the camera. Arms out, and Riddle is someone that's really going to thrive from having a crowd. So even if it is just his peers and it's not like a paying crowd, it's still going to fire him up. Ah! Oh, jumps off the cage. Uses the cage to launch himself off. This is Riddle in his home environment. Riddle in a cage is like a camel in a desert. It's just meant to be. This is just where he is so comfortable. The guy, former UFC fighter. I think, have we got some blood? I think we've got some serious blood. Blood all over the hand. There was a big kick to the face, and I think a tooth has come out. I think a tooth has come out. I think one of those kicks has resulted in a tooth. We're just having a look. He's actually putting some into the hand of Kurt. Blood coming all down the face of Thatcher. I think one of the doctors having a look. He's opened up his mouth. There's a lot of blood in there. You can't quite see where this blood's coming from. There's two teeth! Two teeth! Teeth in the hands! Doctor asking, can you fight? And he says, I can carry on. Wow! Matt Riddle kicking the teeth out of the mouth of Timothy Thatcher. Couldn't see if that was a work or not. No idea if this is pre-planned. But he showed there was teeth in his hands, blood coming from the mouth. Doctor having a look, saying, can you fight? Can you carry on? Timothy Thatcher says he's good to go. Wow. Matt Riddle kicking the teeth out of the mouth of Timothy Thatcher. We're only 5 minutes in, and this has had such a blood sport kind of a feel to it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's hard hitting. It's two people in a cage going at each other, launching off the side of the cage. The cage looks amazing. We've already, within a space of a few moments, got blood and apparently teeth have come out. EC Dub. EC dub, EC dub, EC dub. Man, so good. So good. There's no way that's not a work, but I love it. Oh, man, it sucks you into it, though. Those kicks, the kicks looked really good from Riddle. The kicks look so good, you kind of go, is it a work? Is it not? I don't know. Vicky Guerrero is come down. She's one of the cheerleaders. It looks like Vicky Guerrero is all elite now. Obviously, we've seen her a few times. On the little graphic, it said Vicky Guerrero. Just above it said, get your ear plugs ready. So here we go, Inner Circle, making their way down. We've not been left much time for the Tyson announcement. Jake Hager getting an introduction. Santana. Oh, such a shame that NXT had to go to commercial. It does, do you know what I mean? It kind of builds you up. You're like, and all this, and it's amazing. And then, you go to commercial and you're like, it brings you back down again. It's the big problem. If this was on pay-per-view, it'd be able to just keep that momentum going, you know? Vicky is announcing Chris Jericho. Jericho walking out with the rest of Inner Circle. Making their way down. There's a table set up in the ring. We've got just over 10 minutes. Just over 10 minutes. Jungle Boy. Tyson will knock someone out, says Chalmers. Okay, what have they got? They've got... What have they got? Yeah, it is going to be quite interesting to see what Tyson is going to do. We're still back underway. These two still brawling away. Kurt Angle's got the gloves on, of course. They're just showing us... Oh, big kick. He launched off the cage. Inner Circle said that they're going to rise again. This has honestly got a UFC feel. It's honestly got a UFC feel. You got Timothy Thatcher trying to grab the arm of Matt Riddle. They're definitely taking influence from UFC in this match. Definitely taking influence. We're seeing some groundwork at the moment by Timothy Thatcher. Matt Riddle, though, managing to escape from that. Few strikes back and forth. Forearm strikes by Thatcher. Kick to the chest. Thatcher. And again, Riddle trying to launch off of the cage, but Thatcher grabbing the arm. And Riddle knowing the escapes for all of those, but big back body drop by Timothy Thatcher. They're trying to throw Inner Circle shirts out to the crowd on AEW. The crowd keep throwing them back. And Thatcher has got the... Oh, look at this. He's working on the knee. Working on the knee, and he's turning over for a single leg Boston Crab. Single leg Boston Crab by Timothy Thatcher on Matt Riddle. And Riddle holding onto the cage. Man, this is incredible. Could you imagine if this had a crowd? I don't even think the crowd, if they were there, like NXT fans, I don't think they would mind the reduced visibility that the scaffolding would provide. I don't know if it reduces it that much. It adds more. Definitely having that scaffolding adds more than the inconvenience of reduced visibility. Love that platform around the top. I think they can do so much with that. Timothy Thatcher walking back and forth. Here we go. Getting up to his feet. Matt Riddle strikes to the midsection. There's a few gifts being handed out. Suplex by Thatcher. He's trying to grab hold of the arm. Looking for an armbar, maybe a Kimura. Back elbow by Matt Riddle. Belly-to-belly suplex, says Chalmers. Nice rollover by Riddle. Again, he's going for the Kimura. He's trying to get the Kimura onto Thatcher, trying to extend the arm into an arm bar, but Thatcher grabbing the leg, maybe an ankle lock. Not getting it. Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho, hugging. Jericho saying to Ortiz, ever since you got your bell rung, and he gives him some... he gives him some earmuffs. Okay, strikes. He had full guard. Matt Riddle. What is he looking for? Triangle? Triangle? Triangle by Timothy Thatcher. He's got a triangle on... Riddle, and again going for armbar. Picking him up, looking for a... Look at that. He's picking up Thatcher. What's he looking to do? He's trying... Oh, okay. Thatcher's going up to that platform that's just above. So, Thatcher's gone up to that higher platform. Riddle's going to jump up there as well. Here we go. Oh, face first goes Riddle. So now they're on top of this platform. Uppercut by Thatcher. Chop by Riddle. Forearm strike by Riddle. These two trading blows back and forth. I can't see where the Tyson thing's going to fit in this AEW. Quick kicks coming in by Riddle. Going for another kick. Thatcher working on the ankle again. Oh, man. Knee bar, and Riddle is draped over. This is... really enjoyable. Riddle is upside down. Thatcher has got a knee bar on Matt Riddle. He's managed to get back up to that platform. Okay, Jericho, I think, is he talking about Tyson? Here we go. Riddle. Oh, went for a senton. Thatcher moves out the way. This would have been In Your House, R.I.P. Lions Den. Oh! Suplex on that platform. I can't see if he is actually missing teeth or not. I am on teeth watch at the moment for Timothy Thatcher. What's he going to do? Off the platform? Double underhook. Is he going to throw Riddle off the platform? Reversed. Knee strike by Riddle. Timothy Thatcher falls down. Takes it safely, though. Okay. Is Tyson... Here's Tyson. Is that Henry Cejudo? Is Cejudo with him? Cejudo! Henry Cejudo? Henry Cejudo? Is Henry Cejudo part of the Elite, or is he part of Tyson's entourage? Wow. Tyson face to face with Jericho. Jericho says to Tyson, shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. Jericho says, I've been dreaming of this moment. I can't believe Henry Cejudo is standing behind Mike Tyson. Tyson says, you deserved what you got. Jericho telling Tyson to shut up. I think Riddle's out. Timothy Thatcher has put Riddle to sleep. This is big. This is really big for AEW. They've got Tyson in there. It feels like we're building towards summer. Henry Cejudo is standing right behind him. Tyson ripping his t-shirt. Struggling a little. Struggling to rip the shirt. He'll get there. Jericho says, okay, you look great. Apologize or I'll knock your damn teeth down your throat. Tyson pushing Jericho. Jericho pushing Tyson. Okay, a lot of people are getting involved right now. Jericho and Tyson pushing each other. There's a lot of commotion in that ring right now. Tyson being dragged away. I can't see where Henry Cejudo is. Cody's come racing down. The locker room's come racing down. The table has flipped over in the ring. Where is Cejudo? Cejudo is up by Tyson. This is absolute carnage. I mean, not from Tyson. Tyson's been dragged away. He's under control. Henry Cejudo is leaving with him. We've got some backstage executives, but a lot of like Tyson's entourage. A lot of Tyson's entourage is getting involved with members of the inner circle. Tyson's trying to come back though. Tyson's on his way. He's being held back. It's a big, big end to AEW Dynamite. Big end to AEW Dynamite. Big commotion. Jericho says, I'm going to get you, Tyson. This certainly doesn't feel like it's over. Wow, this is big. This is huge. What is this building towards? Jericho screaming at Tyson, but what is it building towards? And the final words from JR. My God, there's chaos. That's putting it mildly. That was a big end from AEW. That was a big moment from AEW, but what does it build towards? What does it build towards? Wow, that was big. Get your scores in. Get your scores in. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Honestly, arm bars would end most cage fights. Yes. Ronda Rousey's career was pretty much arm bars in UFC. Start praying now, Le Champion, says the big guy. Both shows were good tonight, says Scott Turner. A Survivor Series type pay-per-view. AEW copying WWE with Austin. Well, look, if you're going to copy Summit, why not copy that? I got no problems with that. Jim says 20 years ago that would have been cool. I don't know, man. He's still got that name recognition. He still looks in great shape. If anything, you know, a slightly aged Mike Tyson that's not been as active recently. does make it a little bit more realistic having him up against Jericho, who's been active on a more regular basis. Yeah, Jericho's still, in the twilight of his career, but, if this was 20 years ago, Jericho would have no chance whatsoever. I mean, I don't know what it's building towards, but I don't know. It feels a little bit more competitive now. Don't get me wrong, one strike and it's still done. But I do feel a little bit more like Jericho's got more of a chance against this version of Tyson. Right, I'm gonna say that AEW. I was probably around an 8, a 7.75 or an 8. I think with that ending, I'm at a 9. I thought that the start of the show with the revival was really strong. I thought the end was really strong. There's a handful of things that I would have changed, but nothing that was drastic. I think the Tyson thing is incredible. Henry Cejudo. I actually saw, Henry Cejudo, UFC champion, right? I think, where was he? He was in pound for pound rankings. He might be like the third pound for pound, number 3 in the rankings. I think he's still under UFC contract, so I'm not sure that he's signed with AEW or anything like this. But to see him on the show, that's a big talking point as well. That is going to resonate with the UFC world, with the boxing world, with the wider community. They've won trending tonight. Make no mistake about that. That cage match was excellent. Excellent ending for NXT. You can't really hang with a moment like that, an OMG moment like that. Don't forget as well, the biggest other OMG moment we got tonight was the revival, the revolt. I think AEW wins it tonight. I think that NXT was still a very good show. If an average score is 6.5, I'd be giving NXT tonight well above that. I thought it was pretty solid throughout. I'm not a fan of that Drake Maverick stuff. I really don't like that. In fact, when I even forgot about that, I'm even going to take a little bit off. I really don't like the Drake Maverick stuff. That cage match was so good. Even the tag match that they had before was pretty decent. It was a really, really solid show. But no denying it. No doubting it. AEW wins this one. I think from what I'm seeing, a lot of people in agreement right now that AEW have edged this. AEW have just managed to slip the lead on this one. And, it's that trying to compete against Mike Tyson there. You can't do it, can you? You're always going to struggle to do that. But what a moment. What an absolutely incredible moment. Never saw that come in. I didn't know how they were going to use him, what they were going to be doing. What they did was perfect. And it really does seem like we're building towards something big, something huge. AEW Dynamite really delivering tonight. I've said it so many times. I can't cope with the supernatural stuff. So, it's Hardy that I'm struggling with. It's Matt Hardy that I'm struggling with more than anything. That's really one of my biggest problems with AEW. Is what Matt Hardy's been doing. If you don't have him messing around during matches like they didn't tonight, I do find the show enjoyable. A hell of a lot more enjoyable than I did at the weekend. And to start with the Bucks, to end with Mike Tyson, what a show you've put on there. Incredible. Love that. Wonder where it's leading. Where do you think it's leading? Where do you think that is building towards? Sonny says in 10 minutes there's a Insiders episode. Okay. Both shows amazing. I agree. Both shows very, very good. Nelson says Days NXT one for me. That's fair enough. A big night for MMA sports. A really good NXT cage match. And Tyson, says Chalmers. Agreed. Jericho and Tyson in a boxing match. A boxing match. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest. I don't want to see a wrestling match between the two. A boxing exhibition. Has Jericho got any kind of a boxing background, though? Can Jericho hang if he goes in there with Tyson? I mean, not that anyone can hang with Mike Tyson in a boxing ring, unless you are a trained boxer in your prime. But I don't know if Jericho... Has Jericho got, like, a boxing background at all? I don't know. When would they do it? Do you reckon... Is Fyter Fest? Or maybe you book it for All Out, you know, and you really do it further down the road. I don't know. I can't quite call it. I can't quite call where they're going with it or what they're going to do with it, but definitely on board. That's big. Big, big, big. NXT 10 out of 10, says Kevin. Maybe Tyson Thugs versus the Inner Circle. What, you think it'll be a multi-man match? God, I don't know if any of Tyson's Thugs can box or wrestle. Tyson is going to knock out Moxley next week, says Skinny Kravitz. I thought AEW lose you. I thought AEW would lose you at the end. No. It's hard when people are talking. If I have to choose between watching that incredible cage match or a talking segment like what we were getting, then I'll go with the action. And it would be the other way around. If we were getting an incredible cage match on AEW in the Undisputed era we're talking, my attention would be on the cage match. Because it's easier to do a watch along with action than it is for like promo segments. But man, as soon as Tyson came out, that had my attention, and that is going to be what everyone's going to be talking about. That Tyson moment, absolutely huge. LSW says, Days, I would pay a lot of money to see Tyson knock out Jericho. Killer Sasuke says, Days, I think NXT has got to step it up now. Again, they don't know really what they are. In fairness, they have stepped up because they brought in a great-looking cage, a match they booked that made a lot of sense. They had Kurt Angle as the guest ref. So they definitely did step it up. The problem is they were already behind anyway. By stepping up, they would only be approaching the level where AEW were. AEW went and grabbed Mike Tyson. Do you know what I mean? So they kind of needed... You're right. They needed to go even bigger. JTV92 says, once again, an amazing show by AEW. Best of 2020. Cejudo has got a gold medal in wrestling. No, I didn't mean about Cejudo. I'm not expecting Cejudo to be a part of this. Cejudo surely is still under UFC contract. So when I was talking about, I don't know if Tyson's men can wrestle, I certainly wasn't talking about Henry Cejudo, because I do not expect him to be competing. I was talking about the other goons that were with Tyson. I know that Cejudo can wrestle. I've seen him enough times competing in the UFC. Shout out to Max. WWE needs Conor McGregor now. Yeah, they probably do, yeah. They probably do. Was Rashad Evans? I didn't see him. Days Adam Cole Bay should take Timothy Thatcher to Dr. Britt Baker, yes. Yes, that would have been... He should. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what he should do. That is exactly what he should do. He should go racing over and she's got nothing to do now. Do you know what I mean? She can sit in a chair doing nothing for a little while. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure she won't mind doing some dental work. I really enjoyed that cage match. It was realistic. It was hard hitting. It was just They took a leaf out of UFC and really tried to deliver something quite gritty, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Thought they did really, really well. Mike Tyson in AEW then. Don't know how long he's going to be sticking around for, what it's going to mean. Days Tyson had a who's who of MMA guys with him. 3 were former UF champs, and they can all wrestle. AEW copying what WWE done 20 years ago. AEW was supposed to be different. I don't mind them copying that. I really don't mind them copying that. Sorry, Days. I preferred the Stampede match over the cage fight. I wasn't a fan. Dude, you don't have to apologise to me, do you? This will continue, says Benjamin. Oh, yeah, definitely. Henry is retired. I heard that he'd actually cancelled that. Did he not? I'm sure I read that that retirement hadn't lasted very long, and he actually said that he was ready to come back again. Because I know at the end of his last fight, he said that he was going to be walking away and retiring. But then I'm pretty sure he said that if the right fight was offered, he would come back. So a classic MMA fighter retirement, whereby they don't really stay away for too long. I don't know what the truth is on that. I don't know what the truth is. I think if the fight's right and they offer him some good money, he would be straight back in the UFC. But yeah, I don't know where he stands with his situation, with his contract. I would be very surprised if Henry Cejudo ends up having a match. I'd be very surprised. Very surprised. But never say never. I didn't expect this tonight. It's totally caught me off guard. I didn't expect Henry Cejudo to come out at all. I saw that he was backstage, doing a lot of backstage like parties. He was at the backstage stuff. So I knew that he was kind of in with them. Did not expect him to walk out here at all. So some big talking points there. Jerry Smith says, Days AEW is really good tonight. I'm looking forward to Tyson and Jericho. Was Brody Lee on AEW tonight? He wasn't. No, he wasn't. Corpse Hatch says, a 9 out of 10 for AEW Days. But they said you were biased. Well, don't believe everything you hear. I score it as I see it, as I said, and as I saw it. I thought they had the revival at the start, which was huge. They had decent action throughout the middle. There was only a few bits that didn't kind of grab me. But just for the... I've always said, if we're getting like 8.5 and above, we're really looking for like an OMG moment. It kind of... A solid show is going to get you to an 8. But to get to an 8.5 or above, you need to have like an OMG moment. AEW delivered that tonight a couple of times. AEW delivered. It would have been enough just to have had the revival for this week. But they gave you that, and they gave you the Mike Tyson thing, so... Monica King says, I was worried for WWE when AEW brought in Tyson, but that cage fight almost maxed him out tonight. Cage fight was a lot of fun. It was really good. I think they gave the loss to Riddle so that he can leave NXT. I agree with that. Catch you later, Coaster Maniacs. Okay, we will start to wrap up in a second. I just want to get, after what just happened, I just want to get anyone's final thoughts on what they think with that. Pickle says, Days, imagine if we get Jericho versus Mike Tyson. That'd be huge. That is huge, like really huge. I agree, it's really huge. And also, Mike Tyson is jacked. It was quite funny how he struggled to get his t-shirt ripped for a little while. There was a little bit of, it wasn't quite as smooth as Hulk Hogan used to do it. It might have helped if it was like pre-cut or something, so that he could at least grab it and it would rip a bit easy. Or perhaps it's just a really good advert for how well made the AEW shirts are. Do you know what I mean? It's a great advert for AEW shop. You know, our shirts are so durable, even Mike Tyson struggles to rip them. So, yeah, like when he ripped it and he was like, and Jericho was like, yes, you look great. I gotta say though, Jericho was kind of no-selling quite a lot of it. And there was no fear from Jericho. He was backed against the ropes a little bit, but he was quite happy to get into Tyson's face. I suppose if you're going to do a match, if you're going to work an angle, you can't really afford to show that you are fearful, can you? So yeah, it's quite there's quite a bit to get your teeth into with that, you know. It's quite a bit to kind of throw around with it. Okay, Sonny. I would love to see Hager versus Vita Belfort or Rashad Evans. Was Rashad there? I gotta be honest. I was so distracted by Henry Cejudo. I didn't see Rashad. Melvin says Vicky Guerrero showed up tonight on Dynamite. She did. Yeah. I mean, she's been in the crowd a few weeks before, so we've seen her before. Chalmers says AEW 9.5 NXT 9. Henry Cejudo versus Hager. Look, the only issue with Cejudo is he's quite small. He is quite small. And certainly in the land of giants, you know. I can't remember where I said. I don't know where I said. Did I even say? Did I even tweet it? I don't even know. But him with Luchasaurus and Hager and all of these big guys, you know, he is he is on the smaller side. So I kind of feel like it's tricky. It's going to be a tricky one to book. He's dangerous. It might be intriguing to see him against Hager, actually. Might be intriguing. It might be a tough one to call because Hager's a good MMA star. He's obviously not reached the same levels as Cejudo, but would he overpower him? Would he be too big? I mean, look, everyone's the same size when they're down. And that's what Cejudo specializes in, so... I think Tyson with Belfort, Evans, Cejudo could be great. Could lead to a real MMA match with either former UFC champ, and Cejudo could dip his toes into the pro wrestling waters. Mad up, that's a great shout. Yeah, that's a great shout. Max says, Days, don't you agree that Jungle Boy is the Kofi Kingston of Jurassic Express? Well... yes, if I was to go with one of them as the Kofi. Although, saying that, you know, Marco, the only thing that Marco really brings, Marco doesn't bring power. Marco brings a lot of that aerial ability. I think if you look at New Day, you would have to say the person that's got the aerial kind of action down is Kofi. Kofi's the one that tends to specialize in the aerial moves. It's not so much Xavier. Power, I mean, look, there's no denying Big E and Luchasaurus. There's no denying that. But, I don't know, you know. I kind of see what you're saying, but Marco could also be the Kofi. Because he does a lot of aerial stuff, very much like Kofi. Cejudo is 135-pound bantamweight versus Hager at 265. Not good. No, not good. Not good at all. But does the skill level even it out? I don't know, is the answer. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that match. I think, to be honest, if they book it, let's just say they booked it, right? Let's not debate whether it's a good or a bad thing. Let's just say they book it, Hager versus Cejudo. How would I feel? I would be nervous. I would really hope that it would deliver, and I would go into it concerned. I would be excited. It would have my attention. From a booking point of view, it would work in that sense. But I would go in concerned that it would be a car crash. And maybe it would be. Maybe it would be. So I can't call that. I don't know. I don't know how that would pan out, but I would go into it concerned. Carmen, shout out to you. Days, don't you agree that Timothy Thatcher is the future? He could be on the Undisputed Era. A bit like Lars. Timothy Thatcher and Lars are completely different. Lars is the monster, isn't he? He just throws people around. But Lars is power. I'm not sure that Lars is really technical ability. I don't even know where Lars is. But, yeah, Lars... I don't think Lars and Timothy Thatcher have got a great deal in common. But Thatcher, I think, is a great performer. If he works with that intensity, then it could be quite interesting. I think the problem with mat-based wrestling is that it can be very slow. It's very intricate. It's wrist locks and joint manipulation and reversals and intricate little holds. And, you've really got to be kind of into, what's he looking for there? Is he going for the Kimura? Can he switch it? He's got it into an armbar. And you've got to really enjoy watching the transitions of moves. You've got to really be into what it's kind of like when you're watching UFC and they're down and they're scrambling and you're trying to figure out what is he going for. Can he get round the back? He's got round the back. Can he get the rear naked choke on? And that's where the enjoyment comes from watching that match. That's, you know what I mean? That's where you get the enjoyment. There's a lot of people that watch wrestling that don't actually like wrestling. A lot of fans don't like watching wrestling. They've kind of become conditioned to be sports entertainment fans, and that's absolutely fine. I enjoy both. I enjoy the sports entertainment side of it, but I do enjoy the wrestling side of it as well. And it was really nice to get like a real grappling kind of a contest in that cage match, but it was done at such a pace that you could kind of look at it and it had the visuals of the cage. It had a bit of star power in Kurt, and you just go, do you know what? I could actually see that working. I could see that at WrestleMania or something. If that was Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle in 5 years' time, and both had been built up a bit bigger and were more well known, I could definitely see that working at somewhere like a WrestleMania. So I'm quite excited. I think that's interesting. I think they've got something there. I really do. And I love the platform. I love the platform round the top. It's kind of like a 2020 cage, isn't it? It's like an updated cage match. So, right, 5 minutes, and then we're going to shut this down so that, because obviously the insiders are on. So I know we are kind of walking over their time, but when you've got something as big as what we've just seen with the Mike Tyson incident, I mean, we haven't even spoken about the revival, the revolt, and what's going to be happening with that. So there's so much to talk about coming out of these shows. Sometimes you come out of these shows and there's just not really much of a talking point. Come out of these, man, you've got that massive cage match. You've got the massive Mike Tyson moment. You got the arrival of the revival. The revival arrival. So it's kind of, yeah, I know I don't want to step on their toes too much, but a few more minutes. I know I keep saying it, but half past we're done. Eric says, I'm going to do a poll as to who had a better show. Days, would you say this was AEW's best Dynamite? I would say it was definitely up there. I think it's been pretty solid throughout the night, and I think they had two big moments. I really, just even down to the little things like Cody announcing that the TNT title would be defended each week. I thought the Battle Royal got a little bit slow in places, but do you know what? I think what part of that problem is that when it does go a bit slow, I think you guys are at commercial. And I think that it's just, I'm watching it going, well, this is slow. They're not really doing much here. But I think it's because I'm watching what you're not seeing. Or maybe it's picture in picture or something like that. So I thought even that, you know, where it got down to Orange and Jungle and it's like, who's going to win? And even that was quite interesting. So yeah, there was a lot of good stuff on this. Even that Shida match. There was a bit where Shida and her opponent were just like standing in the ring. And I'm wondering now, was we at commercial for that? Or was that shown? I don't know. They were just kind of like standing there for a bit. And she was like, it was as if they were like getting their breath back. And then out of nowhere, Shida's opponent, that Christie woman, came over, kicked her in the stomach. And it was like, right, we're back again. I'm starting to wonder, was we at commercial? I don't know. Or was that just a thing that happened? But anyway, all of that to one side. It was solid pretty much all throughout. So yeah, a very good show. Monica King, shout out to you. Thank you for the kind words. Tyson versus Jericho is already making shockwaves, says but Spark. Would be great to see Dunn Riddle versus Gargano and Thatcher. That would be good. Logan, shout out to you. This was one of AEW's best shows. Yeah, I agree. I can't say it was the very best. I mean, to be honest, I can't think of another Dynamite that really jumps out, but I do remember seeing some excellent Dynamites. Certainly towards the end of 2019. And around the start of 2020, I seem to recall there were some really strong shows. But, yeah, this is maybe the best of 2020. Chalmers says, I think she was trying to start a chant for herself. Okay. They could have done Brock versus Kane in the fight pit. Oh, my God. Could you imagine that? Oh, that would have been amazing. Right, we've got 1 minute. Honestly, get your final thoughts. As soon as we're done here, jump over to the Insiders. I would urge that you go over there, but man, how could we not talk about that tonight? Imagine if there was a crowd at the AEW show. It would have been... it's such a shame. Such a shame that we were robbed of that crowd reaction to that moment. Has AEW ever come to the UK? Sadly not. No, they were meant to come over for Fyter Fest, but they had to cancel it. Oh, if Jericho versus Tyson gets made for Fyter Fest, and that show was meant to be in the UK, and there was a chance that I could have gone to that show, I will be disappointed. I'll be disappointed. I'm not going to lie. If I could have had the chance to have seen Tyson in person taking on Jericho at Fyter Fest, and it was meant to be in London, I will be sad. Because I'm sorry, but I would drop you lot like there's no tomorrow. You'll be like, are you not streaming it? I'll be like, no, I'm going to go and see Tyson. Yay! Tyson. Right, we're done. Make sure that you jump over to our good friends, the Insiders that started a few moments ago. The Insiders podcast. So they're up and running. I'm sure the conversation will be continuing in their chat. I hope you enjoyed the stream this evening. If you did, drop a like on the stream. It makes a big difference. Drop a subscribe on the channel as well if you haven't already. And I think we are pretty much done. Thanks a lot for joining us. Really appreciate it. This was one of my favourite Wednesday streams, actually. Really enjoyed it. So really appreciate it. And hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.